at ebrmagnet.org or call 225-922-5443. At EBR Magnet Programs, we have a place for you.
Make plans to head over to Henderson Auctions this Thursday and Friday, September 26th and 27th. Take exit 22 off I-12 and look for the signs to Henderson Auctions. This 2,000-plus lot, two-day public auction has something for everyone, including construction, boats, campers, ATVs, vehicles, tractor trucks, and farming. Check them out now at HendersonAuctions.com. That's HendersonAuctions.com. Take exit 22 off I-12 and look for the signs to Henderson Auctions. Auction business license number 459.
Hi, my name is Rusty Jenkins. I work with the Louisiana Land Bank. I'm Vice President, Regional Sales Manager in the southern part of the state. Everybody wants to be in the outdoors. Every day we get calls left and right of people wanting to look for 10, 20 acres, even greater than that, just to have their own little place where they can get away. We're in the business of financing that real estate and helping with those long-term dreams and goals. If you're looking for anything in the country that we can help you with, whether it be land, equipment, operating, help you build a fence, come see us at Louisiana Land Bank. We're here to help you.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Every Thursday night, catch the Brian Kelly Show right here on Eagle 98.1 from 7 to 8 p.m. Listen or call in your questions every week to get the latest information on the Tigers. On-air coverage brought to you locally by Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Monday, September 23rd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 92 in hour one of today's show. We'll react to LSU's victory over the UCLA Bruins, and we'll give you some injury news for the Tigers as well. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Allstar Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Yeah! Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another week of OTB. Unfortunately, I would love to be opening with some Black Gold to Super Bowl, stand up, get crunk, something like that. Unfortunately, just doesn't quite go the Saints' way. Yesterday in the Superdome, a fantastic Superdome at its finest, and a good game, a close game, in which your defense was awesome. Your offense got countered, and, well, in the end, just not enough. You know, looks like you maybe made the plays to win the game. Could it in the end? I think this is a huge don't panic moment. We'll get into it throughout the rest of the show today, I'm sure. Do not panic, though. I mean, remember the Bucs go and get dominated by a Broncos team that it looked awful up to this point. This is the NFL, but certainly there's maybe some cause for concern going forward when you look at injuries and other developments. On Saturday, you had your Tigers victorious in what was the hottest game I've ever been to. at Tiger Stadium. I mean, got to be right up there, right next to that Auburn game with the DJ Chark punt return that everybody always talks about. So we'll get into all of that and more. I've watched the film, dove deep on it, and once again, there's a lot of good. There's stuff to correct. It is truly a game that is a tale of two halves, where the first half, defensively, certainly, you have to be better. Just some crucial mistakes that end up making that the game that it was. But then defensively, the second half, you come out and, you're pretty much the entire team the second half, damn near perfect. So an odd game to talk about because it's one that doesn't seem to garner a lot of juice, a lot of emotion. It was a weird kind of sleepy day in a lot of ways. But I think you got better. And I think there's some interesting things to explore, especially when you look at the play of Garrett Nussmeier and how you feel about it versus maybe what the actual numbers say. So, and then we got a ton of great college football to break down over the entire week and a ton of great NFL ball. We'll be out there at the Queen tonight watching the Heisman Bowl, a little Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Little Burrow and Daniels going toe-to-toe tonight on Monday Night Football. So it's going to be a good show, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Hit the like button if you guys want to come hang out, get in the chat. Taylor, what's up? How we doing today, dude?
We are doing good, T-Bob. We are well-rested, man. I was telling you, wife's out of town till tomorrow, and I looked around. I was like, I don't have anything to do this weekend. I barely left the house. It was excellent.
Hell yeah. Alondra, what's up, girl? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Just ready to get the week started.
I had a great time on Saturday. I hosted like an Athletes First tailgate thing, which was pretty fun. And then I went to the first half of the game, which again, I don't blame anybody who left that game. We'll get into that. But then Saturday night, I haven't done this in years. I actually ended up at Fred's, dude. I saw this band. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Saw this band, Neutral Snap, local cats, young cats out of NOLA. And, bro, they attacked it. I mean, they attack the stage. I was really, really kind of blown away by them. It was, I don't know what it was like.
How did you end up at Fred's?
Just, randomness.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly what it was like being somebody who lived through the 80s and watching the rise of 90s music. But there was an irreverence to these guys. Everybody just dressed however they want to dress. Like I said, they were playing. Now, I've listened to their original music as well. It's a bit more pop punky. It's really good. But they were playing some older songs. And a lot of songs that we're kind of taught are supposed to be cheesy. Like even at one point, Lips of an Angel by Henderson, right? But attacking it with just like a sincerity that made it awesome. And I'm watching all these young kids out there in the crowd, and they're eating out of their hand. They're going crazy. I'm like, these kids don't know this is supposed to be cheesy. These kids don't care. They're loving this right now. And so it just felt like there was like a little anger in it, a little excitement. It was just, I thought it was, I mean, I love live music. But yeah, Neutral Snap blew me away. Really fantastic job, guys. And the DJ Moonlight afterwards was cool too. But Neutral Snap was, that was a great part of my Saturday night. All right, let's go ahead and get into the games this weekend. Let's get this show started.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
Tiger Labor and Staffing provides reliable, local staffing solutions for warehouse construction and manufacturing positions. So, whether you need help with temporary labor or long-term hires, they have you covered. They're fast, they're flexible, dealing with no calls and no shows in the morning. Your short staff, give Tiger Labor and Staffing a call today and let them meet your workforce needs. Shortest waiting period in the industry. All right, so let's go ahead and just dive into this LSU game first. And I know it's weird to start here, but it's a bad start for the defense. It's a perfect finish. The offense was fantastic throughout the game. You missed a lot of opportunities in the first half to put this team away early, but again, utter domination pretty much all around in the second half. And I know it's weird to start talking about the Heat, but I think we need to for a couple of reasons. First off, I did see a lot of kind of consternation online surrounding with the visuals of Tiger Stadium, how it looked on television, how empty the sunny side of the stadium was. And again, guys, I can't blame anybody for that. We, the collective Louisiana we know heat, right? So what happens when it's even too hot for us? You know at that point you have reached freaky heat levels. In fact, just leaving the stadium at half to get over to Don Juan for whiskey and wine, I think I saw 3 or 4 people on gurneys. Matt said from sources he talked to at LSU, over 70 heat-related medical events at the game. ESPN, you need to be paying the medical bills of everyone here in Louisiana that had to sit through that September day game. Like, I know I've talked trash on like night games before when you play a lower team and you just play like 6 or whatever. I will never, ever, ever again after that, because that was absolutely miserable. And you saw it in the entire day in the run-up to the game. We're making jokes about just wait, UCLA is going to wait until this second half, wait until this second half when LSU's suddenly in the shade and the Bruins are still baking on that sun. And indeed, that did play a role. That is a team that melted. That said, I think the important thing to highlight here, from our perspective as a sports talk show and something that should be celebrated, is yes, Louisiana, we do know heat. And yet still many of us have that. You know what the one group of people in that stadium who were not affected by the heat were? The LSU football team. And that shouldn't be overlooked. Because those are adverse conditions, and they did not lose a step. They did not falter. They did not look overtaxed. They only got stronger as the game went longer. And again, I think that's important to highlight because that speaks to a team that is well-conditioned, that did what they did, the hard things during camp to build up that heat resistance, that heat immunity, and they end up taking that game completely over. And again, that was the only group in the entire stadium that was able to tough out Ray Baker on Saturday. All right, we'll get some overall thoughts in this game. I think this is a bit odd because the stats don't reflect this. Like, Taylor, maybe you can give me the final rushing statistics out of the box score. I don't think they don't seem very good. I think it's actually under 4 yards a carry average.
3.6. It's actually lower than it was against South Carolina.
Which is a bit odd because I thought you actually did a bit better running the ball this game. I thought that you had better short yardage push. The backs did a better job of being patient. I mean, there are absolutely still problems on a lot of these gap scheme runs. I don't think the offensive line gets enough movement, and their back blocks, they're getting stonewalled, even though 93 from UCLA seemed pretty damn good, in my opinion. But like when you think about it, you used run. I mean, Josh Williams ran it well. Caleb Jackson, the second 90-yard touchdown drive of the second half. I thought that Caleb Jackson did a really fantastic job of getting some hard yards and making UCLA feel him. So I think this actually is a step in the right direction for this rushing attack. The defense now. The defense is a bit disappointing because in that first half, I've been giving the defense a lot of credit for not having coverage busts, and they've still done a really good job of not having the over-the-top coverage bust where somebody's running free for just like a 70 or 80-yard touchdown. Underneath, there's been a couple, and there were a couple that shined early early on, right? That first 3rd and 4 on UCLA's first possession. Wes Weeks comes unblocked to the A-gap, and he actually murders the quarterback, right? But nobody has accounted for the running back. It looks like maybe, and this thing they tried a couple times, it looks like maybe Braden Swinson had a man-to-man, but he was on the backside, and there was no chance of him ever getting there. Then you had the 4th and 2, where kind of the same thing. You bring a blitz up the middle, and you have Savion Jones on the back one-on-one, and, well, he was close, but it's not a bad concept. Again, I kind of like it, but it did get you got in both those short yardage situations. And overall, philosophically, I didn't hate what the defense was doing, right? They were saying, okay, look, we're going to play single high safety. We're going to man you up. We are going to add we're going to add people to the rush, and we're going to try to speed up the quarterback, make him make plays, make him make decisions. And it worked a lot of the time. The issue is you are putting a young, flawed secondary to the test there. And while you passed some of them late early on, you didn't pass too many, right? Like you're asking your guys to go man to man, which again I don't mind and I like, especially against an offense like this. And yet you're kind of losing some of those battles, which is to be expected. These are young cats. They're still learning. They're a bit. That's the entire defense, right? Just a bit personnel limited. So I don't hate the scheme, even though first half it did not work great. You had a coverage bust on the touchdown. I believe it was Major Burns that was responsible, as it looks like both Greg Penn and Major Burns thought that they had the running back man-to-man. Nobody accounted for the tight end. To me, it feels like the tight end was probably Burns' guy, so that's another busted coverage. So 3 busted coverages on the first drive. That's how they go down 11 plays, 75 yards, and immediately tie up the game after you did a really good job of setting the tone with a touchdown drive of your own. And then you get to the end of the first half, where, I mean, we talk about just getting beat 101. There's a long play at the half line. Ashton Stamps has perfect coverage right there. Ball bobbles around in the air. The receiver just makes an incredible play. It looked like you had forced the fumble. You just happened to be a 1/10 of a second off. His knee barely on the ground before that ball popped out. Probably the most disappointing drive about allowing that touchdown before the half is simply that they burned you on a call for the touchdown, but you forced a hold through a great pass rush, and then you didn't come up with the stop when you had him back to 3rd and 12. You allowed them to score again, and that was not great. So you go in tied 17-17 at halftime. The stadium completely empties out. It's a dead day at that time. There's just a general grumbling throughout the entire stadium, and that's why I credit this team. Because at that point, when everybody else was checked out or didn't care or was frustrated, this team came out. And what did they do? Like I said, first half, they had missed opportunities to close this UCLA team out in terms of like the rhythm of the game, right? You had, I think you had 2 possessions, including the one coming off the fumble, where you could have gone up 21-10, and UCLA would have immediately just been absolutely buried, and you failed to. Well, second half, you come out with a stop. You go 96 yards, touchdown drive. You get a stop. You go 92-yard touchdown drive, maybe 94. Either way, back-to-back 90-plus yard touchdown drives with back-to-back stops from the defense. That's complimentary football. That's how you close out a game. That's how you prove, look, we are clearly better than this team. So, again, kind of the overall, and we'll get into the more specifics, who we liked, who we didn't, what we think about the team, but like the overall takeaways, in my opinion, are positive. But everything's still going to be a function of your expectations. I still don't think this is one of the best teams in the SEC. Again, my whole goal is to be better than the rest. And I think this is a day where you took a step forward towards meeting that kind of better than the rest goal. I still don't think that this is a team that beats Ole Miss in Tiger Stadium at night. Even though it's going to be crazy, it's going to be awesome. Like, it's not to say they can't. It's not to say that there's not a chance, but there's still very clear weaknesses in which you would expect that Ole Miss team, admittedly who hasn't played anybody, to be able to take advantage of. But what they're also not is they're not that bad. Like, don't let whatever sort of maybe missed expectations you're suffering from what you thought before the season to now misconstrue or discolor this team, because they're not that bad. And I would point to Garrett Nussmeier's stats as maybe the best way to kind of reinforce this point. Let me bring them up real quick here. So Garrett Nussmeier goes 32 of 44, 72% completion percentage for 352 yards and 3 touchdowns. And really, you think about the big Kyron Lacy drop in the first half, like who knows how many yards, because that was on 3rd down. That's about a 20-yard gain right there. And for Kyron, who cares? I'm not overly worried about it. That was something that was a problem last year. It's not been a problem this year. I'm betting on him. It's not an issue going forward. Just looked a little too early. He was going over the middle. But how did we arrive at a place, as LSU fans, that we could have our quarterback go 32 of 44 for 352, 3 touchdowns, and a 17-point win and feel meh. Like, you have to take a step back and you have to ask yourself, partially it's because we've had 2 Heismans in 5 years. We've seen 2 of the most statistically dominant seasons in college football history in the last half decade alone. We saw a player in Jaden Daniels who was able to affect, like, even in Burrow, Daniels was different because his legs were an element that we've just never seen before. You think back to Florida last year, right? And Garrett doesn't have those legs, right? And so obviously that's going to feel like a big disconnect or a step back. But Garrett Nussmeier is playing such damn good football right now, guys. You have a quarterback that is absolutely dominating. And again, remember, you have to ask yourself, why did I feel so blasé about 350 through the air and 3 touchdowns and solid decisions being made? And you're finally connected on a deep ball to Kyle Parker. Now, granted, there are a couple more left in the field. And Brian Kelly said after the game that Chris Hilton was a game-time decision, but they expect him to be 100% next week. So he probably helps in that regard. But the whole point of pointing out Nuss's stat line compared to how you probably feel about this is that there is a disconnect there. And I get it. This team is maybe not the championship good that you were hoping for. The defense, while I still maintain this defense is way better coached, in my opinion, it's just a hard thing to sell through numbers because the numbers are not good. And it kind of, you're definitely not seeing the defensive improvement you were hoping for with all the investment you made over the offseason. And I think you're going to get there long term. I just don't know what this year holds. So I get all the points of frustration, but the team still they're still pretty good, and they're getting better week to week. And I don't know exactly where it ends, but I'm excited to be along for the ride. All right, what are your opinions? Kind of overall takeaways from the game. And by the way, Jake is going to be here, guys. Just family stuff, school stuff. Sickness came around. You got to drop off the kids. He'll be here in a little bit. But we're going to have a great show today, youtube.com/1045ESPN. If you want to be involved, get your comments, questions in there. More OTB. Let's talk about my favorite performances individually and who needs to do better as well coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to Allstar Toyota Baton Rouge, Allstar Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Allstar Toyota is the best place to go to find your next vehicle for you or your family. Maybe you want to get a Toyota Sienna. Speaking of family, get that minivan. You have not lived until you've been in a crowded parking lot with doors that slide open. It's just such a blessing. I mean, they're not unlike Lamborghini doors if you think about it. Maybe you want a big old truck like a Tundra. Right now, the 25 Tundra, you get 2.99 APR finance for 72 months. Okay. So go check out AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com. You go look at some of the great deals, or you can just go see them off of Airline and Goodwood. Very conveniently located. Remember this as well, guys. If you need a body shop or a service center, your car needs a checkup, whatever, all makes and models are welcome. Doesn't be Allstar, doesn't be Toyota. They are the best. So for your next vehicle, there's only one answer, guys. It's Allstar Toyota of Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD.
Welcome back to the best morning sports show around. Sorta. It's Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back, OTB. T-Bob, Lodger, Taylor hanging out with you. Jake will be in here shortly. Patrick Vine says, should we be contending? Yes. Florida State has flipped it faster. Tennessee flipped it faster. UFC flipped it fast enough to put, and then I think he basically went on to say, to play us. And then he says, regardless, look at Heupel. So, okay, a few things here. If you are saying that you have a problem overall versus what you expected when this hire was made, where you'd be at in year 3 and where you feel like you're at this year, I'm not going to disagree with that. Sure, Brian Kelly brought national championship expectations. You immediately turned it around in a really impressive way year 1. You won 10 games back-to-back years, even played for that SEC championship in year 1. So, yes, the fact that you still feel as flawed as you do, personnel-wise, defensively, we're really the edges are the only group that's really good. That is overall disappointing. I don't know if it's about getting older or what it is, but when I think about football season, how fleeting it is. We're already through 4 weeks here, guys. Third of the way through the season already. It's a freaking bummer. But when I think about football season, I start to just enjoy, or I start to just evaluate the season and the games for what it is and they are individually, right? These larger conversations about how on schedule you should be from a program development standpoint. I feel like those are the off-season conversations that we have for the entire offseason. And so, yes, again, like where you're at defensively right now is a disappointment. And there are some original sins that you could point back to. Allowing Corey Raymond to leave, not making him one of the immediate guys that you get to stick around. Now you have to go back and you have to go kind of crawling back to him and get him back. So it's a classic thing where, yes, once again, you avoid like some cost fallacy and you make a good decision in the end, but the time in which it took you to get there and the original mistake has cost you the timeline a bit. The Matt House hire seemed great year 1, absolutely imploded year 2. Speaking of timeline, if you could have made that Blake Baker announcement sooner last year, you could have made that Bo Davis announcement sooner last year, your defense is probably in a better spot in terms of the guys who are returning. The issue there is Bo Davis was playing for a semifinal. Blake Baker and Mizzou playing New Year's Six Bowl. And then still even that, I feel like they maybe thought they were going to run it back. Like they were slow in making a decision, so that timeline got affected. That said, I'm still a long-term believer in the staff and the direction of the program. I think in terms of your base that you're building through high school, you're really solid. You're playing a ton of young guys defensively. That comes with short-term pain, but long-term gain. And the high school recruiting appears to get better and better every year. And especially now, ever since you brought Frank Wilson back, right? Brian Polian's another one that you could argue was one of the original missteps that really set you back. Now you get Frank Wilson back, and you're starting to see the dividends. Look at the 25 class. You have Bo Davis and Corey Raymond recruiting that as well. Blake Baker, way more personable guy. Like, the timeline, so here's, I guess, what I'm getting at. The timeline overall, I think you are a bit off here, right? Year 3 is not going to be the peak year that you were hoping for, but I do believe that peak years are coming. And I'm not sure that LSU will ever, in this modern era, as long as there is no sort of salary cap, I'm not sure that LSU will ever consistently be like a top 5 team in the entire country, right? I don't think they'll ever achieve like the Saban under Alabama, the Kirby Smart Georgia, the Ryan Day Ohio State stuff. But they're definitely still good enough where, every few years you can get frisky and threaten a championship. And I believe that this team will eventually. I just think you have to adjust your timeline for this year or don't. I mean, you enjoy the year however you want to. And if you're going to consistently hold them to that year 3 expectation, say they're falling short of it, that is completely fair. That is completely fair. But I'm meeting this team where it's at. And where it's at is a really good offense with a really, really good quarterback and a defense that plays hard, but is just limited talent-wise. Or experience-wise, very young in that secondary, and you're still trusting them, which I like. You're not going cowardly. You're saying, yeah, these guys are young, but guess what? Let's throw them in the deep and see if they can swim. Let's play single high man coverage the entire game, and let's get after the quarterback with our linebackers, try to create havoc and trust those guys on the back end. And it didn't work the first half; it did in the second. And you got great edges. So that's what I would say in terms of just objectively great things. This edge group is damn good. Braden Swinson is leading the way right now. 2 more sacks for Swinson, but it's the effort that these guys play with. Him and Savion Jones just play with their hair on fire. And really, so does the interior D-line, I feel like, plays their ass off too in terms of effort. But they don't quite have the skill to pop as much as the edge. But they play with their hair on fire. They got great pass rush moves. And as Brian Kelly pointed out after the game in his post-game press conference, credit Kevin Peoples, because these are different body sizes. These are different types of rushers. And yet Peoples has been able to teach them different moves that benefit their size and have been able to make them get home. The Swinson move on the first sack, it was a 3-man rush. And Swinson or Jones are right there. And Swinson's move going kind of through his chest with a bull rush to negate the guard help, then ripping to the outside was a thing of beauty. There were multiple holding calls this game that were called and were not called that should have been, that were created by really great pass rushers. On the Swinson sack force fumble, they tried to block him with 2 tight ends. He's now reached that pass rushing standpoint where you just don't do that or you're going to get burned. 2 tight ends try to block him, went about how you thought it would, sack force fumble. On the Jardine Gilbert interception, it gets declined, hold called on Braden Swinson. Called against him, or not against it, like they were holding. The point is, he's just consistently disrupting everything the offense is trying to do right now. Savion Jones should have had a whole sack to his name. Not sure why they said they had sack. I don't know if they changed that. It was nice seeing Gabriel Relaford pushing a lineman right into the quarterback, not his first sack. So, again, and even Sean Womack had a nice rush and nice pass breakup this game. So the interior, you got to get better talent-wise, and they'll get better with experience as well, because I continue to really like how Ahmad Bro's playing. He's just undersized, and he's just so young. And the secondary is kind of the same thing, just so young right now. But again, I can see that this group, I can see this group is better coached. I just don't know how to prove to y'all that through arguing or debate or stats, because the numbers, if we're being completely honest, the numbers don't really reflect it. So you can just tell me to shut the hell up, call me a sunshine pumper, whatever you want to. But that's like my God's honest evaluation of this LSU football team as we sit today. Taylor, what did you think about Saturday?
Two things stood out to me. One, you did not give up gashes in the running game, and you've done that 2 games in a row, whether it was Nichols or South Carolina. South Carolina ran for 240 yards.
Yeah.
Just for reference, UCLA ran it 22 times for 14 yards.
Yeah. And obviously the sacks help out there, but even if you were to take out the sack yard, it still would have been like maybe even sub 3 yards a carry. There were not any big run plays.
Well, and also something else that killed you. Like we talked about scoring in the red zone. I still think that needs to get a little bit better, but you were 6 of 14 on third down against South Carolina. You were 10 for 15 on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you converted at a 66% clip, and you flipped that from like 46% last Saturday. So those two things, like, to me, were the biggest things that I saw.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll get to some of Brian Kelly's clips from after the game, and then we have to talk about Harold Perkins as we now know the full extent of his injury. More Off the Bench coming up next.
Off the Bench.
Go to oakparkevents.com, guys. Oakparkevents.com. Of course, those are 2 great venues for whatever you need. We got Park 73. We got Oak Lodge. And look, whether it's a wedding, corporate event, social event, or you just need some catering in the Baton Rouge area. We at Oak Park, we do offer offsite catering. It's a centerpiece of any corporate event or great party that you may be having somewhere else. We can do, like box lunches. We can do a full buffet reception. We can do any type of food that we want. So take all the hassle out of feeding, entertaining your group. And taking the hassle out, that's really everything, right? Like, you just got engaged. Congratulations. Show your wife you give a damn by booking a consultation today at Oak Park and going to check out the venues. She's like, wow, you're so involved. I love this. They've done thousands of wedding guys. It's a turnkey service. And so they can match the vibe, the food, the everything that you're looking for. Go to oakparkevents.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
Welcome back to more sports talk with some other stuff mixed in. Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yeah, Taylor, could you look me up two things? How many freshmen did LSU have playing Saturday? And then I do want to see their havoc rate thus far. A couple of comments. Chris Little says, biggest issue with the bad defense is not getting the first team offense off the field. We're going to lose 4 or 5 starters in the O-line and probably nuts going backwards offensively next season. Yeah, certainly that's a UCLA team that was awful on third down, and they were good in the first half, and that was really disappointing. And that's something they have to get better about. They've been better than last year, but they got to get better about that still. In terms of losing the starters in the offensive line, yeah, that sucks, but that's also life, guys. And I don't know if it's a guarantee that you're going to lose Nuss or not. If he's going to be a first rounder, maybe so, right? But that's a very, don't waste energy worrying about that just yet. That'll play out, and we'll know more over time. But I believe in Brad Davis as an O-line coach. I believe in the O-line recruiting that Brad Davis has done. Will you take a step back? Yes, but that's just college football. You're always going to lose guys and take relative steps back, right? You just have to recruit and develop groups as a whole that damage is kind of mitigated. And I don't think, I think it will be. I don't think LSU's disaster. I don't think LSU's going to have a disastrous O-line under Brad Davis. I think they're going to be good. I like what I've seen out of Tyree Adams, some of the other young guys thus far this year. When was it, not Monungai? I'm getting my Rutgers running back confused. He played a couple of weeks ago when Dellinger was out. Him and Tyree split time. Whatever. The point is, I believe in Brad Davis and the future of the line to be fine, even if they're not as great as pass blocking as they are this year. But who knows? Maybe they could be even better run block. I don't know. We'll see. KMC, if BK got the defensive hires right the first time, we'd be a championship relevant right now. He's fixed the issue. It's a matter of time. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. All right. So Harold Perkins went down on Saturday with a knee injury. And on the play, you could see it. He comes flying in from the side, makes the tackle, and unfortunately, his foot is kind of planted out, and his knee buckles in. At the time, did not look great. Anytime you see that sort of movement, you fear an ACL. And, according to reporting, Harold Perkins has torn his ACL and will be out for the year. First and foremost, feel for Harold Perkins. Absolutely brutal. Here's a kid that he's had so much expectation on him his entire career. He has so much expectation that last year he had 5.5 sacks, 13 tiffles, and people thought he was not good. That's crazy. And so this year, with expectations even higher, it had been a bit of a struggle. And so to already be going through the struggle and then have this happen is just absolutely depressing, especially for someone who is going to play at the next level and expect to play at the next level. And so first and foremost, thoughts, support, everything to Perk and his family. That sucks. And you don't get better when you lose a player of Harold Perkins' caliber, obviously. Full stop. But if we were to talk about just the overall football impact, we also have to be honest that it's not disastrous. Even more so than last year, LSU has struggled with how to use Harold Perkins this season. I didn't quite think it could be the case, but he feels the most out of position this season than he has felt easily in his 3 years at LSU. In fact, even looking back at it last year, I'd have to call myself out for a lot of takes because that actually feels like maybe his best position, that kind of nickel linebacker role where you're in coverage a lot, but you can come off the edge and whatnot. And the stats would support that assertion as well. He just looks uncomfortable on the inside, bit slow in his reads, catching too much. He looks uncomfortable blitzing up the middle in terms of being decisive, getting bend, knowing what to do. And when bigger guys get his hand on him, he's just struggling because he is a bit light, right? And so I guess all I'm saying, though, I'm not saying that to critique the player. I'm saying that because it's already been a very frustrating year for him personally. Now this happens, and that sucks. But you don't get better, but it's not like the death knell for a defense that's already kind of struggling. It's not going to be like, oh, this defense is going to go from, let's say, if you want to call them bad, to like awful. No, and in fact, like in terms of just pure linebacker play, Weeks has been better. Penn has been better. You get West Weeks back. I see you make that face, Taylor, but no, Penn has been better. And he doesn't have the big play potential, certainly, but he has been better. And so I don't know that it is as impactful as it sounds on the surface. Like Jacoby and Guillory getting hurt, massive. Your only frontline guy that had any experience on that interior. Interior linebacker is actually one of your deeper positions. You look at the Saints, Eric McCoy getting hurt, freaking massive. Huge loss that I'm still trying to wrap my head around the potential full extent of what that does to you depending on how long he is out. So this sucks for Perkins personally, hugely. It sucks for the defense because you don't get better. And now whenever you go against like an elite quarterback, like a Taylon Green, Perkins would have been perfect against Taylon Green. Spy him, try to contain him, make sure he doesn't beat you with his legs. Well, now you lose that element. And I don't know what the future holds for Perkins. Does he still just say, screw it, I want to go to the NFL after this year? Does he try to return to college for another year? It's been a weird time for him these last couple of years. So who knows what he wants to do. All I hope is that he doesn't get too discouraged and he continues to fight and comes back stronger and better from this and uses this adversity to forge him. But yeah, Harold Perkins torn ACL out for the year. All right, when we get back, let's get to some of Brian Kelly's comments post-games here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
What up, y'all? Go check out the Queen of Baton Rouge. Come out there tonight, guys. Me and Jake going to be hanging out. Little Monday night football action. The Heisman Bowl going on. Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. Little LSU on LSU. Who's going to win? Who will play better? I think we're going to put together a little parlay tonight where instead of picking the teams, I think we just try to celebrate these quarterbacks. See if they can both go off here a little bit. And if you haven't been to the Queens, it's been renovated, guys, it's going to blow you away. The DraftKings Sportsbook is such a great place to take in the game. So chill, great drinks, great booth setups, really good food at the 1717 restaurant and lounge, really good drinks as well. You got Shaq's Big Chicken if you're in the mood for some fried chicken, the 3 Walk Noodle House, Capital Coffee, all the games you want. And remember, when you're doing this gambling, cash in, cash out, baby. Let's go. Come out to the Queen of Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system. in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Jake Hester back from a wild morning. Great to see you, Jake. I gotta say, man, I finally got to listen to some of the broadcasts on Eagle 98.1 when I was driving from the stadium to Don Juan, and you are absolutely fan-friggin-tastic on there.
Well, thank you.
I was blown
appreciate it.
away. So good, insightful, timing's great, excellent live analysis, which is really hard to do. Very good job, dude.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm enjoying it. It means a lot coming from you. And I now have a winning record in the booth. I was 0-2 to start my career, but now 3-2, and so feel better about it. Was wondering, is it me there for a second?
No, it's definitely not you, because, again, you're great on the call. I'm sorry, Jake. I've obviously just been spouting all my takes from this game, so I want to allow you here time. I know it's like only a few minutes, but I want to give you kind of what were your overall thoughts?
Oh, and I listened to most of what you said coming in. Offense continues to look really good through the air. Running the ball didn't look great like on the stat sheet, but it felt better than it looked.
It's exactly my takeaway too. It's odd how that works, but yeah.
I thought Josh had a nice day. He was really patient, had a couple of big runs. You weren't able to get Caden Durham going in the run game, but certainly you saw what he can do for you just being on the field. I mean, he takes, a little check down and turns it into a score because, he's got track speed. He's got real fast speed. And you say fast twice as a former player, that means something. Just trust me. So he's got that. And so you still want to see more in the run game, although it did feel better than it actually did look. Nussmeier continues to be fantastic. And I also heard you talk about, even some of the plays the receivers didn't come up with.
Yeah.
Who knows what the stat line would have looked like, footballs that hit the receiver's hands and weren't able to come up with it. And gosh, we got so spoiled a year ago. I was talking about that, up in the booth. I'm like, when a receiver last year named Malik Neighbors got his hands on the ball, like it was a catch.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not even like slighting the receivers that you currently have, but like last year, I don't think we've ever really seen somebody that had as strong of hands as Malik Neighbors, and you kind of get used to it.
Well, and also, so you had the Kyle Parker deep ball this game, which was the dime of dimes. That was incredible coverage.
Yeah.
And it was literally placed into Parker's hands. But then you had two more deep shots where you had him perfect read, had him dead to rights, and just overthrew a little bit. And that's another thing where it's like the whole deal about Nuss is he's awesome. He's just being graded right now against literal perfection. Which, think about it, Jaden year one doesn't make those throws. Burrow year one doesn't make those throws. Both those guys made them in their second year, not their first, though. So, sorry, continue.
No, yeah, I'm right there with you. And then defensively, probably not going to have enough time here in this segment to give you all the thoughts, but Braden Swinson is playing like one of the best defenders in the country, not just the conference. And T-Bob, you did a good job of mentioning this because if you don't watch the coach's tape, you don't even know how impactful he really was. You just know how impactful he was off of the TV copy, which was incredible. But you go back and you watch the coach's copy, he's getting either held, he's winning, he's double-teamed, he's splitting double teams. They're trying to chip with a tight end, with a back. And when you become a rusher that teams realize, hey, we can't do it alone. Our left tackle is getting worked. Our right tackle is getting worked. We have got to throw extra bodies, tight end, back, whatever it is. It changes your play calling abilities. You can't just call what you want to call. You have to call something that is built in to stop an edge rusher like Swinson's been over the last couple of weeks. And it takes away, I would even say, like a third of your playbook, maybe even more, because you have to say, okay, tight end, back, before you get out, before you get into the route that we want you to get into, you have got to make sure that he's taken care of. And look, it's not like Savion Jones is playing bad either.
Look at this
he's
rush.
playing well.
This is a little three-man rush right here. And he bulls down the tackle to kind of block the guard who should be helping the tackle. He cuts off the guard with the tackle's body and then frees himself for the sack.
Yeah, so he's doing, major things there for you. I thought the linebacker play was better, certainly in the run game. And, there's a couple of plays here and there, a couple of busted coverages, not like on those big 75, 80-yard hitters, but on some of those 15 to 18-yard hitters that are really keeping you on the field.
Yeah. And so we can that's look, we're going to talk Saints in hour number 2, and we'll continue to mine Jake's LSU thoughts as well. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. KTOZblinds.com. You want those window coverings that wow? You want what Mikey Mata called the greatest investment he made in his home? Or, excuse me, Ray Frimes. My bad. What up, Mikey? I saw Mikey this weekend. That was great.
Yeah, he did.
Ray Frimes. What LSU legendary baseball player said was the best investment he ever made in his home? You want K to Z, okay? Because they come out there, they're going to use their expertise to tell you exactly what your options are aesthetically, functionally, bring your home to the next level. Go to KTOZblinds.com.
I feel pretty confident in saying even if Mikey Matuk did call K to Z, that he would have the same experience that Rhymes had. If Jared Mitchell called him, same experience. Anthony Renato, same experience.
Well, Jay Mitch this weekend too.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Too. Looked great. Go to KTZBlinds.com, KTZBlinds.com.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Monday, September 23rd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 92. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll recap the New Orleans Saints loss to the Philadelphia Eagles and discuss what type of injury Eric McCoy might be dealing with. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! Allstar Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome in. Hour number 2 of OTB. Rolling right along. Spin hour 1. Breaking down this LSU UCLA game on Saturday. Tigers winners. I think they got better. I understand it felt like a bit of a meh day, but again, I think they got better. And I heard somebody text me that Condon had a very funny, if extended, Dick does love to talk even more than I do, which is saying something. But he had a very extended rant on media people criticizing the fans for leaving while they're sitting in an air-conditioned press box, and I honestly could not agree more. I'm not saying I agree with everything he said. I have no idea what he said. I haven't heard the rant. But in terms of just that single take, I completely agree. Like, you cannot sit in judgment of if you were at home and you did not go to the game, or you watched in the shade, or you went but you chilled at the tailgate and watched under a tent, or you were in the press box or a suite or the club, whatever it is, you get what I'm saying. If you were not in that sun, the only people who are allowed to criticize anyone for leaving that game is anybody who was in the sun and decided to stay, because it was insane. It was absolutely insane. So I want to be painfully clear. No judgment coming from this side.
Now, if you were in the shade and left, that's a different conversation. But
Yeah,
if you were over there on the east side, ooh, it never.
Look at Mr. Big. He said he was in that sun for 4 quarters. You a real one, Mr. Big.
Because it never, it didn't get to the UCLA sideline until late in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, I mean that is the one genius thing about the stadium. It sucks for the fan. It sucks for everybody involved. But like I said to open the show, there's only one group of people that didn't feel the heat on Saturday, and it was that LSU football team because they're conditioned in it. But if you ain't, and you on that opposing sideline, and at halftime the home team's suddenly in the shade, and you stay in the sun the whole you will melt. Saw Auburn melt back in 17 or whatever that was. And I saw UCLA melt on Saturday.
I mean, I can play some of it. You can tell me when to stop it if you want.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, I don't really care.
Okay.
All right, Jake, anything else? Since you had to get here a bit late today, anything else on LSU that you feel that we haven't touched on? And eventually I kind of want to see if we can circle back to some Brian Kelly sound from after the game. He was in a bit of a snippy mood after the game. But I do want to talk Saints as well, as we haven't really touched them except for the Open yet.
Yeah, we can certainly come back to it like you said, but I do want to mention that for all the talk that we had about the defensive line coming into this season, they've probably been your most consistent unit on defense. And I really don't think that it's close. And I'm not just talking about the edge rushers either. Now, I mean, it looks like a fire drill just with just people just coming in by twos. It's just like everybody's like always on the move, it feels like, at the defensive tackle position. But honestly, I think they're holding their own. Gio Paez, Suggs coming over as a transfer. Dominic McKinley got his first action of the season. He had a big play. Pear Shand, you mentioned my bro. I mean, yeah, he's undersized, but he's fighting like hell. And he looks like a player that is going to help you in the future.
Yeah.
Gabe Relaford is a player that, he's playing fullback on offense. He's playing a couple of different positions on defense. And I honestly thought that it was going to be an issue all season long. But it's actually it's played pretty well. And are they going to be, the best front seven in the country? No, not by any means. But it has not been a liability like I thought it potentially was going to be. And I forget if it was Media Day, I don't really remember. I think it was Media Day where Brian Kelly talked about they actually did like the rotation of bodies that they had. Yeah. Now you'd like to have Jacoby and Guillory, obviously, but it's actually held up pretty nicely. Some young defensive backs haven't quite taken the step that you need them to take, and that's a lot to ask of, a freshman or a true sophomore, whatever it might be. But I will say the defensive line's been better than I thought it would be. They're fighting like hell. They're trying to get there. Linebacker needs to continue to go up, and we'll see if they have that rotation figured out now that Perk is going to be out for the year. But, give a little attaboys to some of those defensive tackles that have been talked a lot about here in the offseason.
I agree. Also, the DBs is tough because sometimes they are just getting beat because, again, they're young and they're a bit limited. But, I think about that deep ball right before the first half, and Stamps is really in perfect coverage. Even, gets the ball out of the receiver's hands initially, but it just floats in the air, and the receiver makes an incredible play. So, they're going to get it over time. I just, again, Ole Miss going to be some type of tough.
So I'm looking at coverage grades as well.
I'm not scared of South Alabama, though, guys. I heard way too much of that just because they got a big Thursday night win. They're 2-2. Okay, they got beat down. Who'd they lose? They lost to Ohio, and they got beat down by somebody else unimpressive.
North Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
And then no offense to the Cajun Cannon or Coach O, but they took care of Northwestern State.
Yes, which is funny because that's they went to the edge of the empire and just completely razed and burned down one of our outer settlements.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Just simple tamale farmers. and y'all just took them out. I hope you're happy, USA, because you about to get some this weekend for what you did.
Yeah.
But, guys, they're 2-2. Like, I heard so many people like, we should really actually be worried about South. No, shut up. We're not there.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that leaving the stadium as well.
But that's the thing, because people think you're worse than you are. That's kind of my entire point on this team. I get they're not living up to what the lofty expectations were preseason, but they're also not that bad. Anyway.
So I guess real quick, Perkins out for the year. Sucks for him. You did a good job of kind of explaining, where he was, where he's going to be, and probably the last time you saw him in an LSU uniform. I mean, unless he decides to rehab and continue to try to raise his stock, I would assume that's the last time, unfortunately, that we'll see him in an LSU uniform. But for the team moving forward, I think Major Burns slots right back into that star position because that's where Harold Perkins started the game. He started at the star position. Major Burns went back to safety. When he got hurt, Burns went to the star, and then Jordan Allen actually came in at the safety position. And it was only 7 snaps, but Allen actually did look pretty good back there. Now, there's a reason why, probably that he went out of the game and didn't play in the game before Harold Perkins went down, but I would assume that's the rotation that they're going to use.
Yeah, that makes sense. But overall, you feel like not like that impactful. I mean, you don't get better losing a player Perkins caliber, but this is not it's not disastrous in any way this year.
No, it's just you tried to find out which position he was going to play in, and it looked like the star was going to be it moving forward again, getting the start there. And maybe he could become impactful because I agree with you. Last year when he played that position, that's the most consistent that he's been in his career. Outside of against Arkansas, having the 4 sacks against a quarterback that held onto the football, and Perk's rushes were incredible. He was like an inch off the ground. Right, we hadn't seen that in a while.
What happened to that bend?
I don't know. I mean, that's what he's full speed at that bend too.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's necessarily going to change the dynamic of the defense. In fact, I don't think it is. Now, I agree with you. You're not going to get better because of it, but because he was still trying to find out where he was going to live, I'm not sure that it's going to impact you completely the other way like a lot of people are thinking. And that's no disrespect to him. That's just the makeup of the defense and where they are and where they were.
Guys, I want to remind you about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Okay, go to yourgoodwood.com. If you're suffering from ED, low T, you don't feel like you used to, and let's get things back on track, okay? First off, privacy's first. Don't worry. Do not be embarrassed. We get it, okay? This is natural. It happens. It's all good. It's not you. It doesn't have to be you. In fact, we can fix it so that it's no longer you. It's a personalized approach over here at Goodwood where we look at your needs. We understand that all needs are different. It's not one size fits all. And our team of experts work to create a personalized plan that addresses your specific concerns. And I understand that you may be saying, well, T-Bob, things are expensive right now. I get that. So at Goodwood, just know you'll find treatment plans starting at just $125, and there's no hidden fees or surprise contracts. All up front. It's all very transparent. So, guys, stop putting it off, okay? Let's invest in ourselves. Your sexual health is more than you think it is. It's your overall mental health, physical health that's all tied in together. Regain your confidence. Rediscover intimacy. Go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Schedule a consultation day, okay? All right, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints, who in an absolute battle on Sunday, them and the Philadelphia Eagles going toe-to-toe, looking like the Saints found a way, even though the offense had come crashing back down to earth this week, looking like the Saints had found a way to maybe win the game. They drive down Chris Olave, a beautiful toe-tap touchdown with only a minute left in the game. You take a 5-point lead. Now, crucially, 2-point conversion, you fail. And obviously that we can talk about the impact that ends up having. But you still take the lead. You're up by more than 3. You feel at that moment your defense, which has been shutting the Eagles down, You don't feel it's a guarantee, but you feel like you got a pretty good chance.
You had the advantage for sure.
You had the advantage. And unfortunately, you just could not make the plays defensively. You had the incidental hands to the face, which probably would have been, about a 3rd and 15 to a first down. Only a 5-yard penalty, begins with fresh set of downs. And then you had the 61-yard or 65-yard Goddard catch where classic man-to-man coverage, rub route over the middle, and just an awful visual as 3 different Saints run into each other in the middle of the field, and Goddard just has unlimited area in front of him with which to run, and they end up scoring. They end up taking a lead. And then right at the beginning of what could be a game-winning drive, and Derek Carr's been good at this. Remember, I was being a bit tongue-in-cheek last week, but it's like since 16, more touchdown drives to take the lead. I think within 2 minutes, you saw the drive before, even though it technically wasn't within 2, than any other quarterback in the league. So I was still holding out a little hope. Pressure got to him. Bad decision, bad throw, pick, game over.
Game, set, match.
Game, set, match. So there's a lot to break down here. My overall feeling is this. Does it suck because it felt like even with all the bad, you'd put yourself in a position to win at the end? Yes, it hurts. A loss always hurts. But do not overreact to this. The same way that we said, look, the offense is going to come back, try not to overreact to me. Do not overreact to this. I think you are still a good team. What that defense did is still an elite defense. Credit to the Eagles for countering your offense. I think Kubiak will work to counter the counter. You got the Falcons this Sunday. You win that game, you're 3-1. Everything's all good. And again, because sometimes you have to look around to maintain perspective, the Tampa Bay Bucks, who have looked just as good as you through 2 weeks, they go get completely dominated 26-7 by the Denver Broncos. Okay? Like the NFL's weird. And you took an Eagles team that was back against the wall, hungry, granted, trending in the wrong direction, which is maybe the most disappointing part about all this. They've not won a lot recently. But you took them, you had them, but you allowed them to escape with really 3 big plays. The long Saquon run, the Goddard catch at the end, and really Goddard's day as a whole. The
Goddard catch at the end.
Day. Yeah. Yes, he was Goddard mode.
Yeah.
And then beginning of the fourth quarter, you have 4th and 1, up 3-0 in the Philly red zone. You run it twice, 3rd and 1, 4th, and you get stuffed both times. That's bad. It's bad. And that's how you lose at the end of the day.
All right, so here's a little bit of the worry for me. In the NFL, you can have a start like the Saints did, and it was incredible. It was making a lot of us eat a lot of crow, which is great. I want to be able to do that. Saints are good. Things are good here, right? But you get 2 weeks of film on them.
Yeah.
And it was new. Now, if it was old, if it was something that you were established, you had your coordinator for 3-4 years, your system for 3-4 years, and I'd be like, okay, I'll hand wave this. A little bit of my worry is, well, now you've got 2 weeks of film on what the Saints are trying to get done. Derek Carr, 14 of 25, only 142 yards, only 5.7 yards per attempt, right? That number's way down from what he had been. Alvin Kamara, 26 carries, 87 yards, only 3.3 yards per carry. The running lanes didn't look like they did in the first couple of weeks. Dallas getting hammered, yesterday again. It's like, oh, man, well, I thought that maybe held up a little bit better. Carolina being Carolina, although we'll get to the Red Rifle a little bit later on in the show. Another thing that gives me a little bit of worry, Rashid Shaheed, no catches, 5 targets.
Yeah.
He was kind of the thing that unlocked everything for you in the first 2 games. His speed beat coverages that only speed can beat. And he was targeted 5 times and came up with 0 catches. Those are things. Defense was awesome. I know that Saquon Barkley went off. I know he had a couple of really big hitters, including the 65-yarder. But you held an NFL team with someone who finished second in the MVP at quarterback not that long ago to 15 points.
And
that's going to be good enough to win. It should be every single time.
And Hurts' leg's going to kill you. You picked him off. You forced a fumble. You got 2 turnovers on downs. Like the defense gave
you sacked
you
4. Him 4 times?
Yeah, Brian Brzee had 2 alone.
Yeah.
You forced him into 4 turnovers.
Yes.
Defense is awesome.
The defense giving up 15 points to that offense, that's good enough to win. And Dennis Allen was said, I will take that right now if you said 15 points to the Eagles. And all of 15 points coming in the fourth quarter. Right? I mean, they didn't score for the first 3 quarters, if I'm not mistaken. So offensively, the worry is, okay, now the book's out. Now we've got some tendencies. Now we kind of know what you're trying to get done. I'm not saying that it can't revert back and be somewhere in the middle. I think it can, but that is the worry now for the Saints. What do you do to adjust to the adjustment? Because, at first we thought, okay, well, you're going to run some 49er Shanahan principles, and they did, but they did their own thing as well. Well, now that your own thing's on tape, you're going to have to adjust based off what the defense is adjusting to you.
All right, so let's do this. Let's go to break. Let's continue this conversation, though, because I want to talk about what Philly did defensively to counter you, how it had success, and how worried should we be about a couple of injuries with the New Orleans Saints. Coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to ColemanRoof.com. ColemanRoof.com is a website for Coleman Roofing and Construction. Your most complete, your most reliable, your most respected roofing company here in Baton Rouge. And they've been at it since 1982, y'all. Over 40 years. And it's a great culture. Young, even still great energy. Work hard, play hard, get the job done. Commercial, residential, any type of roof, anywhere in the state. What we guarantee is that you get quality work, peace of mind, customer service, and sincere care. What I love about Coleman, it's kind of got that, it's a big company, but it still maintains that small company feel and attention to detail. And so let's say, like some of this weather, you got a leak in your roof, you get damage in the interior. Well, guess what? They fix the interior and the roof. That's construction part. Go to Coleman Roofing and Construction today.
Yeah, go to that website. You can see the contact information there in the top right corner of the website. Contact them today. Let them know what you need to get done. They'll get it done at ColemanRoof.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
How quickly will this segment leave the rails? It's Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, we're talking about your New Orleans Saints. Losers yesterday in the Dome, in a crazy dome. Man, after the last touchdown, that place was loud, too. Then you had the Brazil sack. It looked like everything was coming together. And got her. Got it. And you did not. Jake, so you mentioned the 2 weeks of film on them. And I absolutely think that's true, right? Because what became abundantly clear through 2 weeks is that the Saints were going big and defenses were struggling to find ways to adjust. Yeah. Now, I watched the LSU film last night. I'm excited to see if I can. I don't know. I think Saints film may not come out till Tuesday, but whenever it does, I want to watch part of it because, in your view, I'm very interested to see what Philly did personnel wise, because the thing that the Saints have had success with through 2 weeks, first off, is they've generally had bigger bodies than the opponent on the field, and so they've been able to run it successfully. And then when they do throw it, they're generally only facing 4 defensive back sets because teams are being forced out of their kind of base, which is normally nickel nowadays. I don't exactly know why the throwing the ball wasn't there yesterday. It felt like, okay, it felt like Philly went big on the line, but maybe maintain some of their speed on the back end. Like, it felt like a lot of 5-down looks to me, a lot of big bodies there. And then the other part that you can't ignore about this, no Taysom Hill. You could see the value of Taysom Hill to that offense and all the different things that he can do. The short yardage. You tell me 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 with Taysom Hill in there. You don't think he gets one of those with Taysom and Kamara running back together? And getting the extra blocker if you want to run Q power, use zone read, like whatever. Like Hill when he's lined up at tight end, no Taysom Hill is bad for this offense. Maybe what's worse is no Eric McCoy. And reports, early reports, are that people think he's going to miss a few games. It's a groin injury. I don't know the extent of it yet, but that's brutal. And that could be an injury. Like we talked about Harold Perkins in the first hour, Jake. And that injury is kind of like, that sucks for him personally. And it's certainly not good for the team, but it's not like disastrous. Eric McCoy being hurt is maybe disastrous.
I think it is disastrous.
Because you have an offensive line that you could see like in a closer game in which they'll be forced in a more traditional pass blocking sets. You see the struggles once again. And if you go against a talented D-line that's going to play big, you saw some of the struggles there, and he was the highest-graded center in the NFL through 2 weeks. And the unquestioned bright spot of your O-line. Like, so having no Taysom, no him, I do understand. Combined with 2 weeks of film, like I definitely understand why this offense took such a marked step back.
So not only does it take him off the field, which he's been, like you said, maybe the best center in the NFL, it also forces Lucas Patrick, who played really well last week at guard, to have to move to center.
Yeah.
Right? So it takes away 2 strengths that you had just a week ago, and now you're bringing in someone who wasn't starting the game. And, you know, we saw both offensive linemen run into each other. You know, you had 2 different guards that pulled, and they thought that they were the puller. They ran into each other. Now, it's funny, but those are things that happen whenever you're playing backups and you're playing a tackle at guard, because an NFL game day roster, it's bare bones. Like, you don't have a lot of people up. And then when you have a guy like Lucas Patrick who's kind of played both, sometimes you'll try to cheat the system and be like, oh, we can get away with, maybe carrying an extra tackle because we got this guy that can play all three in the middle. And a lot of times you'll have one swing tackle, one swing guard, and then one backup center. And Patrick's kind of.
Is that true? A lot of times they carry 8? I thought teams normally carry 7 on there.
We carried 8 a lot.
Really?
Yeah, we carried 8 a lot. Just, I don't know if we had injuries or what, but we would carry 8. We'd have swing tackle, swing guard, and then center. And if we took one away, it would take the center away, and the swing guard would have to do the center
normally you'd have a
position.
guard that can play center and somebody who can go in a guard or vice versa.
But I'm thinking about like who the Saints had up. They had 2 different tackles be their backup guys. Now, they've had some guard experience, but they were probably thinking they could get the most out of Lucas Patrick and use him in all 3. But what happened was you had to put a tackle at guard, and it's just a different position. So, yeah, one injury like that across the line and a very already thin offensive line, it's going to take away one of the league's best centers. It's going to take away a guard that played really well at guard, have to move him to center, then you got to move a tackle to guard.
Yeah. But that's not going to change. I think Lucas Patrick is your center, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure, moving forward.
Yeah. So again, I'm really interested to dive in to the Saints film to get it because it was becoming very clear how much hay the Saints are making by running with 21 personnel, 22, whatever say, multiple tight ends, multiple or just using a fullback, only 2 wide receiver sets. I'm very intrigued to get in the film room and see what Philly did schematically to counter it. And then how Clint will counter the counter. Thing is, Kubiak's got his work cut out for him now more than ever if McCoy's out. I mean, you're going to have to mask even more on that offensive line, but certainly getting Taysom back will help in that regard for sure. And the defense is still awesome. The defense, these guys hit so hard, dude. Devontae Smith got destroyed. Brian Brzee coming up with 2 sacks. You love to see it. Like we said, controlling Jalen Hurts. Now, Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley got off on you, but that was the whole fear of Saquon Barkley going to Philly in the first place. He's still a really good running back. Overall, like Jake said, you still held them to 15 points. Like you did more than enough to win. Just Jalen Carter and that Eagles defense a little too good. Jalen Carter felt like he was everywhere yesterday for the Eagles.
I mean, he was kind of the difference maker for me. Like, and there's not many humans walking this earth that look like him. So not every team can replicate what the Eagles were able to do, but he was so impactful, right?
Yeah.
And where, if you're going to be impactful against Derek Carr, where do you want to be the most impactful?
Yeah, middle.
Right there in the middle.
And it's like, okay, and then who gets hurt? Your best player up the middle in Eric McCoy, and you lose Lucas Patrick. So it's like that whole chain of events that Jake was just talking about gets exacerbated by the fact that their best player, most impactful player on the day is now exploiting the exact position that suffered most from the injury you just had. Bad combination of elements.
So now, you have to sit there and you got to wait to see what McCoy's injury is going to be. If it's any extended period of time, I wonder what the Saints do. And, if you move Lucas Patrick, do you try something different at guard? Maybe Landon Young, another tackle. Maybe he tries his hand at guard. I don't know. I don't know that you can continue on with the season having somebody play out of position for 14 weeks. I just don't think that's a recipe for success for you. So I wonder what they do there. Getting Taysom Hill back, it's a great point you make, and one that we shouldn't just forget about. Like him not being in this game. Like if Kyle Juszczyk didn't play for the 49ers, it'd be a big deal.
Yes.
Like their offense would look completely different. If you watch them against the Rams yesterday, I mean, he's a Y, he's an F, he's an H, he does all those things.
Exactly what Taysom does.
So not having him does change kind of some of the playbook because you don't have – it's the good thing about having a Swiss Army knife like Taysom Hill, and it's the bad thing. When you don't have him, the things that you've worked on – which is a bulk of your offense. And look, I mean, this is every level. Like when you have like a gadget player, it could be 9U flag football, right? It is going to change your offense. When you have that one player, he might not even be your best player. Oftentimes he's not your best player, but he's the guy that changes everything because he is unique. He has a skill set that nobody else has. And when that happens, you have to cut a slice out of your playbook because you don't have, hey, you're Taysom number 2. There's no Taysom number 2. Taysom's one of one.
Where's Tommy Stevens? I'm just kidding. Where did Tommy Stevens? Was that Mississippi State?
Mississippi State after Penn State, I believe.
Yeah, shout out Tommy.
And then there was, a what contest to see who could draft him.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that was the most obstinate, just egotistical pick of the Sean Payton era. Was doing all that for Tommy Stevens.
Calgary Stampeders.
Hell yeah. Okay, still playing?
Still playing.
Credit to him.
Was with the Saints, Panthers, Giants, and then Calgary. Now he's played one game in a couple of years, so no, that's NFL. Okay, so he's actually got some run. Okay. 58 passing yards in 36 games played. What position? This man has 58 passing yards, 448 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns.
So
do the Saints need to go get Tommy Stevens?
I mean, so they actually used him. They're using him in the original
Yes,
vision. They are using him as the Swiss Army
He's got
knife.
15 rushing touchdowns.
He's just a Canadian Army knife.
Yeah.
Instead.
Not a Swiss one. I got you. Well played, sir.
First one of the day.
Yep.
Well, count it. All right, give me your best Saints take in the chat, guys. When we get back, I'll get to maybe get some BK sound as well. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench.
Go to Allstar Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Allstar Toyota of Baton Rouge. How about them Cowboys? Go to Allstar. Sorry, I just saw it in chat. I couldn't help myself there, Tay-Tay. And you won't be able to help yourself once you see the great deals going down at Allstar, whether you're looking to buy new, used, Toyota certified used vehicles, like I say, where you get those excellent Toyota Care warranty. Maybe you just need to rent. You want cheaper per day rental price. You want to rent like a van to go on vacation with or something. It's all there at Allstar. Allstar Toyota Baton Rouge, Allstar Toyota BatonRouge.com.
Go to the website today to see what they can do for you. If you've got a trip planned to go watch the Tigers play this fall, maybe you've got a trip planned during the bye week coming up here in a couple of weeks, then you can go rent a Toyota. Everything is available. If they offer it buying new, they offer it in the rental department. So if you want something bigger, better on gas mileage, whatever it might be for your trip, they have got you covered. Just call and reserve that vehicle today. Go to the website to check it out as well, Allstar Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. and backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Jake, do you have a problem with the Saints going for it on that 4th and 1 at the beginning of the fourth quarter? They're up 3-0, beginning of the fourth quarter. It's 4th and 1. You're on this Phillies at 19.
I personally don't. I think that in your mind, you were thinking if we can score a touchdown with the way that our defense is playing and make it a 2-score game, it might be it.
Yeah.
It might be nail in the coffin. We're done. Another field goal. Sure, obviously the 3 points for the Eagles would not do anything for you, but you had to assume that eventually they would break through, get 7, and they got all their points in the fourth quarter, but not really. I don't have a problem with it there. You've been so good running the football, one of the best rushing teams in the NFL to that point. I know you had some injuries, and I know Taysom Hill wasn't there. You'd like to have your full arsenal for sure, but I think that was the mindset of if we get 7 here, the game's over. Just because the defense, to that point, hadn't given up anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't. I wouldn't add anything.
Yeah, your defense has your back, too. Again, because of how they were playing, that's why you go for it.
Well, and I mean, you still scored to take the lead later, right? Like, you still are there. So, okay, we're in agreement there. I don't have a problem with that. So, now you look at the NFC South, and as disappointing as yesterday was, you're still fine. You're 2-1. The Bucs are 2-1. Both of y'all got off to great 2-0 starts. I didn't see it. How in the hell did the Broncos beat the Bucs 26-7?
From the very, very opening kick, it was no doubt.
Tay, what happened to your boy Bakey?
Well, it was my fault. I started him in fantasy, so of course he had a bad game. But
classic.
I saw some highlights. I can only assume they were just like, hey, we're going to play prevent from the start because Bo Nix was running for 20 yards straight up the middle, and I don't really know how that happens. But they score on their opening drive. And then, Baker didn't play well. But halfway through the second quarter, he had only attempted 6 passes because they couldn't get the Broncos off the field.
Wow.
I mean, they had 4 possessions in the first half. The Broncos offense did. So, I mean, they just kept them off the field.
So the Bo Nix dink and dunk under Peyton was working yesterday?
Yeah. Just 8 yards here, 9 yards here. I think he had 1 30-yarder, but, I mean, everything else was just like 8 to 10-yard routes.
You know, I feel like this is in college this year as well. Like and it's typically not, but you just don't know from week to week. Like you just don't. Teams that we think are good, we don't know. Teams that we think bad, they have like BYU beating the hell out of Kansas State. Like we just.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, I mean, destroyed them. What? Like it feels like more in college we don't know. NFL we know we don't know, but even that, like yesterday. Like
the Big 12 is probably the craziest in that regard.
And it was always going to be like that for sure, but I think it's across the country. You know, I mean, there's just a couple of games yesterday. Like the Texans got their ass whipped 34-7 against Minnesota, right? Minnesota's now 3-0. The Broncos beating the Bucs, the Panthers beating the Raiders, the Rams coming back against the 49ers. Like there's so many games in the NFL that just – no way we had them going that way. The Steelers are 3-0, right? With Justin Fields like showing like, hey, I can be a quarterback that wins. Yeah.
All Mike Tomlin does
like Russ, like go do some high knees on the plane, bud. You're not coming back. We don't need you.
Did Fields play well yesterday? I know first 2 weeks was kind of
He was 25 of 32, 245, 1 touchdown. and he threw a strike to close the game out.
I mean, there you go, guys. You think that situation doesn't matter? Look at Sam Darnold right now. Look at Justin Fields. Look what happened to Geno Smith when he got to a more positive situation. Like, contextually, quarterback especially, it matters so much where you are. Well, Andy Dalton's been pretty good wherever he's been at.
Yeah, I'm going to give Andy, again, because I often do it, his flowers a little bit later on.
I know. You're very excited for Andy Dalton weekend winners. We know. He played well. He played really well. He made that offense look completely different.
Yeah.
A little fadeaway touchdown he had back of the end zone to throw that Young's been missing all year long. But like Sam Darnold, like having those receivers now, Kevin O'Connell, like that's clearly like he could be really good. He could be really good throughout this entire year.
What pick was he in the draft? I mean, I know
Darnold,
it's top 10.
6.
I think 6 feels right.
5 or 6.
Oh, third. Oh, he was third overall. I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah.
So my point was, I mean, there's talent there. There was always a talent. The Jets, who they don't draft quarterbacks very well, but they thought there was franchise ability in him. And you're right, T. It is about fit and situation and getting with the right offensive coordinator, getting with the right receivers. And he's got the best receiver in the game with him. Like, that helps. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it's not like this guy played at Directional School U, was an undrafted free agent rookie, and this is a flash in the pan. Like, this guy got taken third overall.
That's
played
what
quarterback
I'm
at
saying.
USC.
But we thought he was
For
a
sure.
huge bust.
No doubt.
Look at him now.
And he gets in the right spot, and they drafted J.J. McCarthy to be their guy. He gets hurt. I don't know if it can continue, but right now, I mean, he's playing as efficient as anybody.
Well, and for J.J. McCarthy, it just reinforces what a good spot he's in as a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Where, like, if he lives up to that, he could do some real special things as well. And then you look at the Falcons, 1-2. Did the refs cheat for Kansas City again last night? It actually, I mean, I hate talking about the refs, but it actually does look like they did. Yeah. I'm not entirely mad at it since it went against Atlanta. But
I'm in the AFC West.
It is
Actually,
wild.
I don't care.
It is wild, though, that they would call pass interference on a close one last week. And remember, Jake, just last week when we were talking about it, I think off air I told you, like, you know, I mean, it's just like once you want to be like, just don't call it.
Yeah.
Like, don't call one of these. I get that every week we have to come and be, well, technically this was the right call when you're talking about the stuff for the Chiefs.
Right.
And they didn't call it. Only this time they didn't call it because it was going to not hurt, or because it was going to hurt the Chiefs. So they made sure not to call it. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, bro. That definitely should have been PI in the end zone on Pitts.
No question about it. The defender never got his head around. He has arms wrapped around Pitts before the ball got there. And again, like, this is a Saints show, so that's a good thing. But, like, just to the narrative of the Chiefs get all the 50-50 calls and they get actually all the calls, it feels like I'm like you typically, T, and I'm like, all right, let's not have a full conversation about it. But when you get it the week before to beat the Bengals and then it goes your way again, but in the opposite direction to beat the Falcons, I mean, that would have been 1st and goal on the 1.
Yeah.
With, Bijan Robinson at running back. And although the last play.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to feel bad for him with just the awful play call.
I
just didn't like it.
Okay, well, but if the running back would have done his job, it would have been blocked up. And see, that's the problem that I have. Like, awful play call. Okay, well, they're kicking your ass in the middle of the defense. You can't block them.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go right at them. You're trying to get to the edge. You have the play call. Who's the backup? Algier. Yeah, Algier. I'm sorry. Algier. Thinking of down in New Orleans. He just didn't block the right guy. Like, Bolton's his guy, and he goes and helps on somebody else who's already blocked up. Like, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you have the play call, you have the design, you've got a really good running back, and you just go block somebody that's already blocked, knowing that's not your responsibility. But, they wouldn't have been in that situation if you get the PI called.
Another example of how, play calls can be good even if the result isn't. So what it means, though, Saints 2-1, Falcons 1-2, and you play on Sunday. You want to eliminate any bad taste over yesterday? go be the Falcons, move to 3-1, drop to 1-3, and all is good in the world. All right, when we get back, close out hour one of OTB.
Off the bench.
Head over to the Queen of Baton Rouge.
You did that one already, but
Yeah,
we
I'm
will
so
be there.
confused,
We
right?
will be there tonight.
that. We did that
Central
already.
Plumbing, centralplumbing.org.
Is it hour 2? Oh, it's hour 2. Okay.
It's weird because I wasn't here hour
I was
one.
so confused.
Yeah,
Centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. 50 years in the plumbing game, guys. Meaning you can't hit them with anything they do not know how to solve. You need, even if you want like an entire bathroom remodel or a tankless water heater, you just want to upgrade. That's a great gift idea for your significant other. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
225-925-8552, 24/7, 365. Game day, holiday, weekend, does not matter. They will be there in that emergency, but not only in emergencies. If you're looking to remodel, it is right there on the homepage of their website. Click on that to get more details. Go to centralplumbing.org.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I see a line of cars and they are painted black with flowers and my love will never.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB here, wrapping up hour number 2.
While I'm thinking about it,
Yeah, what's up?
the general is not happy that y'all didn't get a chance to link up.
You think I'm happy about it?
He was not happy. I mean, he even
Sucks.
so Alondra came by to see us on Saturday. Shout out Alondra. And Bobby's like, can we get T-Bob? Like, he's like, do I need to go buy like a leash to like go pull him over here? Like, what's going on?
So
He told me to find T-Bob and put him on a leash.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
I think because the fact that he knew that I was hosting a tailgate party, that he assumed that it was like, like on campus. But shout out Athletes First, very fun tailgate party. Shout out everybody who helped put it on. It was a really good time. But it was in the RV park and not Touchdown Village. The one right, it was right next to Tiger Park.
Because there is two different kind of RV situations.
To be fair,
because
the
Alondra was
RV
asking, I didn't know which one you
The
were.
RV park blows my
Yeah.
the RV park blows my mind. That is a city unto itself. I mean, these RVs are so nice. The setups are so insane. I met one group from Pensacola that has a full-on giant inflatable hot tub, dance floor, like light. It is the, and I just explored one street of the RV park basically. Like I cannot fathom. One day I want to go out there for like a Friday night before the game and see what it's like, because I heard the Friday nights just get absolutely rowdy, or even the Saturdays after maybe a big game. But so I wasn't really like on campus. I was,
I like to be off campus too. Every day from
every
2 to
afternoon,
5.
2 to 5, Sirius XM 84.
No big deal. Yeah. I mean, I guess, it makes sense. Like, it's there, but, yeah, you weren't in the middle like I think a lot of us thought you were going to be.
Then ask for you
in fact,
again.
like most people had already, like a lot of people in the RV setup, like, weren't there either, because they were, they were already kind of on campus for the game, and then obviously going to go back to their respective spots afterwards and just go get rowdy and loose and everything. But again, I will say, dude, really, really, I just didn't know RV technology had come this far in terms of the setups that people had at these things. I mean, these things, how are they like $1 million?
No.
Like some of those things.
I mean, a couple
just seem
$100,000.
Crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy, like yachts.
I do want to throw a couple shout outs because my SiriusXM team, Bobby Carpenter, our great producers, Olivia, our boss Maz, they were all in town. We were doing the tailgate show right there at Walk-On. Shout out to Walk-Ons. But also Superior on Highland and Supper Club both took care of the crew.
Nice.
Like, took care of the crew. I know game day weekends can be crazy. They had a fantastic time and saw some of the best of Baton Rouge, and so they enjoyed themselves. And even on a day where it was Devil's Lair hot, they still had a good time. So they showed the team a good little example of Baton Rouge. They'll have to come back when it's not maybe Devil's Lair hot for a night game maybe, but still had a good time.
Went to Colonel Club Friday. That was really cool. New place that opened up. Very cool piano lounge. Really great vibes. Interior design, just perfection. For sure. It was a fun weekend. It was a win. You got one more of these, then a bye week, and then you got 7 SEC games in a row, guys. Okay? So the time to lock in is now. Coming up next, we're going to open with some weekend winners. Keep it locked off the bench.
Off the bench.
Go to AccuTemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. AC, you need it, obviously. And you need it year-round. And so if you need somebody that's going to help you, actually, I think it was October randomly last year when my AC went out. It was one of those 100-degree October days that you randomly get, and I had people come to town for the weekend. It was a Friday. It was going to be an absolute disaster. And my guy, Donald... No, I didn't know him before. I met him through this, right? They send you the bio ahead of time. I think he's into woodworking even. But whatever. My point is, Donald comes out and he does everything. He goes all around town. He finds the last part in the city, gets my AC up and running, weekend saved. That's that service to the highest degree that we're always talking about with AccuTemp. So if you need AC, heating, electrical needs, go with the place that has a 4.9 Google review rate with thousands of reviews. AccuTemp Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Monday, September 23rd. Today in Baton Rouge, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 92. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll have weekend winners at 9 a.m. Then Devin Snow hops on the show at 9:15, and we'll close it out with Ask the Bench. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! Allstar Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, hour number 3. Team of Jake, Alondra Taylor hanging out with you today. By the way, no Dev today. Couldn't make it today. He's going to come in tomorrow. I know, very disappointing. Very disappointing. I still haven't listened to any of the highlights of Spread Quarters either. I still got to check out Yeah, I'm Live. I got to check out Roast Beef Ron, all the crew.
Roast Beef Ron.
But we still are going to do weekend winners here. Recap the weekend as a whole. We'll get your Ask the Bench question later. Ask Vince, is it true Rivers got suspended from the show for partying too hard in the lobby after a Friday show? No, it's not true. Again, no suspension, you guys. Just schedules haven't lined up. Probably not going to, I'm just giving you all a heads up, too, not going to line up the next 2 weeks either. So we won't have true champagne shenanigans again until October. So just want to get ahead of this one. Even though I was a bit disappointed in our Bulldogs this weekend. I picked them to win.
I did not.
Thought they were going to bury old Billy and company, hopefully. Team on the ropes, but no. Could not.
For some reason, I went Oklahoma State, and I don't know why. I picked Utah to win the Big 12. Cam Rising was, reports where he was going to play. I don't know what made me go Oklahoma State. It's the only one I missed.
Yeah.
Maybe me, because I picked it.
I don't know, but
for the parlay.
I would have gone undefeated this week. Oh, well, still.
Oh, well.
Our pontoon parlay part's hit. Can't say the same about behind the glass over there.
So I would say this.
Hey, you got to lose
we got
at some
guys.
point.
We got
I
to
was 3-0
maintain.
coming into the week.
Got to
Everybody's got to lose
maintain
at some
a
point.
team. Let's not start sniping each other in the parlay here.
After T-Bob finally wins one.
No. 2 wins in a row, I believe. Don't check.
I don't think I've missed a.
I didn't have to check the
pontoon
tape. It
pick,
wasn't 2 in a row.
The point is, if you followed every one of our pontoon parlay picks individually, you are still up. Because it was 3-1, 3-1, 2-2, 2-2. So we haven't had a losing week. We're doing just fine, guys. Nobody panic. You should still bet all these legs individually, and you're going to be up a little bit. Let's go ahead and dive in to some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
All right, Jake, take it away.
I will go.
It's
my
time.
first
You've been
weekend
waiting
winner.
all day for it. It's time.
Andy Red Rifle Dalton is my first weekend winner. 26 of 37, 70% completion percentage, 319 yards, almost 9 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns. The only quarterback to have over 303 touchdown passes on the NFL season is Andy Dalton, 123.6 quarterback rating, and he did all of that while only making $5 million this year, when a lot of quarterbacks that hadn't put up that stat making 15, 20, 30, $40 million.
Could there have been a worse thing to happen for Bryce Young?
No.
We put him as weekend loser. He was going to be my weekend loser.
I mean, it just really reinforces that you were the problem.
Yeah.
All we hear is, he's at a situation. Nobody's around him. They scored 36 points and win, and Andy Dalton looked awesome.
Yeah, I know.
And look, all jokes aside,
on his downfall.
like Andy Dalton.
On who, Dalton?
No, on Bryce Young.
Oh, yeah, no, Taylor. Yeah, no, Tay-Tay's definitely because he wants to be. That's one of his all-time good takes.
Yeah.
That's his all-time take.
It's on his wall.
Yeah.
We know he has a trophy case. No, I mean, look, y'all know me. I'm a fan of what Andy Dalton can do. I think that he's been a really good NFL quarterback throughout his career. I felt like, he solidified things with the Saints just in a stinky Pete offense, and, he did some things that should have earned him maybe another opportunity, whatever, that's in the past, and he's only playing for $5 million. I mean, you got guys like Chase Daniel that make more than that as a backup, and Andy Dalton's out there, just wants to be a player, played really well. He got, I think, 8 or 9 receivers involved in the game plan. He spread the football. Johnson had 122. Xavier Legette had 42 yards. Adam Thielen had a 31-yard touchdown. Now, he pulled his hamstring. White guys aren't supposed to run that far. Pulled his hamstring on it. But he did score a touchdown on that one. The Red Rifle. Weekend winner.
Shout out.
Yeah. Great hair. Great hair.
He does have crazy good hair.
Katie and I were talking about it. Like he took his helmet off, and it looks perfect.
Yeah. And his facial hair is very manicured.
Yeah. And he's like, what? He's 35?
He's got to be 36.
Got to be at least 36.
So, I didn't see not
about
one
to be 37.
gray. I didn't see not one gray.
No. All red.
Very red.
Looking good.
Yeah.
What does a redhead look like when they go gray?
Probably like a brown.
There's like a famous
I
guy
don't
in my
think so.
head that
I think they just
That
have
would go
gray.
if it was
I think
black.
It's just
I
gray
feel
and
like
red.
it'd go more
Yeah.
brown.
Just like yours is gray and brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what would gray and red look like?
Look
I
at
feel
Louis
like I can't
CK. I'm
picture it
pretty
in
sure
my head.
he has gray hair.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
No, okay, that's a good example. Now I'm kind of seeing it.
Yeah.
Alondra, Louis C.K. on the mind. Interesting.
Always thinking about him.
My first weekend winner is a guy that I consistently underestimate. And yet he continues to prove me wrong at every single turn. And it's the big guy, Brett Bielema. And the Fighting Illini in a brutal atmosphere on the road in Lincoln, Nebraska, in a really well-fought, tightly contested game. Bielema and company find a way to beat a Nebraska team that felt they were resurgent, 31-24 in OT. Illini, remember, this was a winner stays ranked, loser drops out game.
Yep.
The Illini maintain that number next to their name. They're now 4-0 on the year. But again, the bigger point here is I just don't know how Bielema does it. Even against a bad, even with a bad Illini team last year, they lost their entire secondary to the NFL. They lost players. They lost
And Newton
talent.
right there in the middle.
That's
Johnny
what I'm saying.
Newton was force in the
all
middle.
over the place. And yet here they sit, still just solid as hell. For whatever reason, he can never quite get it going to Arkansas. But if you look what he did at Wisconsin, you look what he's done now at Illinois, the man could just coach football. Shout out Bert, the big guy.
Yeah, Bielema. Hey, never leave the Big Ten again.
No.
You were a player
You are
at
the Big
Iowa.
Ten.
You were a stud head coach at Wisconsin. Not so much at Arkansas. You're back at Illinois. Don't ever quit the Big Ten. I mean, I think we can all agree there,
oh,
right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Alondra, Tete, y'all got one?
Yeah, weekend winner. Got to give it to our guy, Malik Neighbors. He became the youngest wide receiver in NFL history at 21 years. And you got to add the days because it was beat by days. 21 years and 56 days old to secure 2 touchdown catches in a single game. He finished the game with 78 yards on 8 receptions and 12 targets. He did all of this with Daniel Jones as his quarterback. He beat out Mike Evans, who was 21 years and 73 days old when he had 2 touchdown receptions back in 2014.
Shout out Malik.
I know that Ohio State has the picture that makes the rounds every time that one of them has a big game, and they've got a lot of good receivers. They really, really do. I don't want to besmirch them. But it's getting more and more obvious that receiver U is LSU. I mean, Jets
had a good game
Jamar,
too.
Malik, BT. I mean, you have the best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And with the way Malik's already started his career, and if Jamar can kind of get back on track after he gets to the new deal, I mean, you could have 3 top 10 receivers in the NFL from the same school.
Yeah. True. Tate?
First off, going back to the Daniel Jones thing, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games combined. No interceptions either. So he's actually playing a lot better than we thought. My weekend winner is actually going to be Quinn Ewers, because while Texas won 51-3, if Arch would have went out there and did something crazy like 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, everyone would have been calling for him to be the starter. He played okay, 50% completion, 250, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They won, but he showed that, look, he's still a young guy. He's not ready to take this job full time. So my weekend winner is going to be Quinn Ewers.
Again, I would say, as long as we're making sure that it's clear that we're saying Quinn Ewers from a PR standpoint. Because if Arch had thrown 8 touchdowns, it would not have mattered. Quinn Ewers is a starter on that team.
Yeah, but you
It's
just went
not
over
a
the outside
conversation.
noise. That
But
noise
yes,
is quiet.
at least now he doesn't have to deal with constant headlines. And I know there are some Texas boosters that are dumb enough too to be like, that would have been like, oh, start Arch or whatever. But yeah, weekend winner. James Madison beat UNC 70-50.
They had over 50 points at half.
What?
Yeah, 52-21 at halftime.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Weekend winner. He scored 70 points. I mean, I
insane.
don't have anything to add. That's just that was a 3-0 UNC team.
I don't know what you do. I mean, I love
70
Mac Brown,
points?
but it's
Okay, so that one was short. I'll go a quick weekend loser. Although he's in a tough spot because the O-line's decimated by injury and the Tennessee D-line's awesome. Weekend loser still Brent Venables for giving into whatever pressure led him to forcing Dylan Gabriel out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, you benched Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, in the game. And look, I mean, got some momentum from it.
You benched Jackson Arnold. And you had a guy who led the Big 12 in every passing statistic last year. And you forced him out. Just absolutely insane. Other side of the coin, weekend winner, Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers, as you know, they continue to look like everything they're promised to be. Also, one of the sweetest videos you'll see over the weekend is him talking in the locker room after the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was some real emotion from him, and I can't imagine going back, like if I was the coach of another team that came into Tiger Stadium in a marquee top 15 matchup and what the emotions of that would be. So he handled it well. He made it, less of a distraction as it could have been, and they went out there and they won the football game. So, yeah, shout out to Josh Heupel. I'm going to go weekend winner, the Clemson Tigers. NC State's not good. They're not. I get that. But they won 59-35 over the weekend, and it was 59-14 heading into the fourth quarter. And I'm not saying that they've played the who's who because Appalachian State went out and got housed by South Alabama. But credit to them for getting housed by Georgia in the second half and then coming back and winning 66-20, 59-35. They've got Stanford, Florida State, Wake Forest, UVA coming up.
11-1.
We'll see how the Louisville game is probably their toughest one because they get South Carolina at home as well. I don't really see a team, that I'm going to say is a favorite.
They're not going to be favored to lose. That's what I'm saying. They will not have a game where they're the underdog the rest of the year.
So they're going to be in the college football playoff.
I think so.
I
just don't think they're going to do anything in the playoff.
No, they're not. But still, from where they were in that opening weekend, and this is going to probably to a detriment of their program because that is going to be like, see, I told you. I told you. You don't have to take Florida players.
It really doesn't wholly suck because winning's always more fun than losing. That's going to be fun. But it kind of sucks because if you would just be willing to evolve a little bit, you still could be championship caliber. Because the high school recruiting and the roster retention remains very good for Clemson. I mean, roster retention is actually unparalleled. Nobody retains more than they do. But yeah, crazy. Anybody else back there?
I have one more. Jake sent this in the group chat yesterday. So I put the video in the doc if you want to pull it up, Taylor. And you can think what you want about Morgan Wallen, but this is a pretty cool moment.
Oh, it's a great moment.
Right. This is a kid who grew up in Tennessee, huge Vols fan, and he walked out at Neyland Stadium to I believe a sold-out crowd with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning in a full
uniform.
Full uni.
Oh, this is electric.
Yeah, walking out the locker room.
It's just awesome. Like, I just love watching, people, their dreams come true. Like, this has to be a dream come true for a Tennessee kid. Like, that is just awesome.
So you have Josh Heupel. You've got Peyton Manning in a full Tennessee uniform.
Yeah.
You've got Nico. You've got, I believe, Brew McCoy was the other one walking with him.
They're all in that video?
All four of those guys are walking with Morgan Wallen out Neyland Stadium. Come on. Yeah, that was a dream.
Vibe just impossibly high after going into Norman, getting the dub, and then Heupel gets to come home and go to that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's insane.
Yeah. But yeah, we can win Morgan Wallen.
Peyton Manning's
full uniform.
That is like Peyton Manning. That's his Burrow senior night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back one more time. Jersey on his back.
He even had the old face mask that he wore at Tennessee that has been outlawed in the NFL. He went back and got the old school helmet.
Yeah.
My next weekend winner, unless Tete, you got another one? My next weekend winner, I actually mentioned them to start the show, but that band I saw Fred Saturday night, Neutral Snap, y'all were awesome, dude. Y'all were awesome. Blew my mind. Freaking went hard. I mean, attacked it. Like I said, I was wondering why my neck was sore, just like a couple segments ago. I'm like, God, why is my neck hurting so bad? Then I was like, oh, wait, you were headbanging for 2 hours on Saturday because these guys just got after it. I mean, even playing
where's this at?
Like Fred Durst.
He went to Fred's.
Went to Fred's
In
Saturday
Tigerland.
night and watched the concert.
When? Because you after Whiskey and Wine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ubered on over. And then, but these kids, man, you weren't here for the start. It's crazy. They were playing all these old songs. And I listen to their original music. It's very good. It's very pop punk. Again, it reminds me a lot of Blink-182 stuff I grew up listening to. But this is all like a bunch of older songs that they're just attacking hard. And some of it's songs that you already know and love. But again, like the example I used Jake Doe of the show was they played Lips of an Angel. Right?
Sure.
But yes, which secretly we all enjoy.
Oh, secretly.
But we know it's cheesy,
Outwardly.
right? But we know it's cheesy. Society tells us it's supposed to be cheesy. They played a lot of songs in that same vein where society, if you're our age, tells us you're not supposed to like them or you can like them ironically or whatever. But they played them sincerely and they played them friggin' hard. And this crowd, Jake, this crowd's young too. They don't know. They're not supposed to think that's an absolute.
True.
And they were loving it, dude. The vibes were impeccable. Shout out Neutral Snap.
Did Party Bop come out?
No, I kept it chill. I set I have a bunch of cell phone videos of the concert of my fan, and I looked like I looked like a creep, like I wasn't loud because I was filming through a fence. I got very overwhelmed at the beginning of the concert by the amount of people in there, and one or two kids put me on their Instagram stories or Snap stories or something. I was like,
oh, they recognize you then.
yeah, but I was like, nah, man, this is just it's not for me. So I went and stood, actually paced behind a tent for a while.
Yeah.
And just listened to the music, and then I just stood behind a fence alone and just watched them.
Oh, because that's not creepy at all.
Very creepy. Very creepy. I stopped pacing behind. I stopped pacing behind the building because a woman who worked at Fred's, a young girl, walked by and was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "Sorry, I was getting a little overwhelmed. I just came out here to be alone for a little bit. I'm gonna leave. This is all very weird. I understand."
Yeah.
And
Tigerland, as someone who's not in college, makes you feel really weird.
I was just overwhelmed.
Yeah, it makes you feel old.
Also, Neutral Snap was going so hard, they were kind of blowing my mind.
Hell yeah.
Okay, nice.
You needed
I
some
need to
air.
go see Neutral
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah. You should, for real. They were awesome.
I'm gonna go one more weekend winner here, and if it is his final start of the year, what a rookie season for Paul Skeens. 11-3 record, 1.99 ERA, 167 strikeouts, a whip of 0.96. Again, if he doesn't get another start, that is going to be how his rookie year finishes up. His last start yesterday, he goes 5, only gives up 2 hits against the Reds, strikes out 9, gives up no runs, no walks. My God, what a rookie season. I think we all expected it to be good. This is historic, though, what Paul Skeens is doing right now. To have a sub-2 ERA, win 11 games, strike out 167 batters in only 131 innings pitched, and have a whip of 0.96. Just incredible. There's nothing that we can say that makes, it kind of lives up to what the performance was.
That's, look, that's how you win a national championship. That's how that LSU team went on that unparalleled run through the teams that they did to get that natty.
Him and Ohtani are not real.
God, we got to go to break, but we'll mention Ohtani on the other side because we should look at his week as well. Coming up next, more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com, CommunitySteelCo.com. Community Steel Company are your local steel experts, guys. They're right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. And they got everything that you can need, man. They got all your purlin, tubing, steel buildings, sheet metal, roofing, any accessories. It's all there. It's all manufactured on site. You can go see the product. Like if you're looking for a steel build, maybe a little overhang for an RV or something, you can go walk through it, feel it, touch it, know exactly what it's like. And again, when you work with Community Steel, you work with a live and local sales team. Go to communitysteelcompany.com.
Yeah, when you go to the website, we tell you every single day, top right corner of the website, click on Community Steel, show you exactly where they're located in Gonzales, Louisiana. They have been there for 2.5 hours already this morning waiting on you. They invite you to the showroom. Come see what they can do for you. If you can't get there today, that is okay. You can always call them at 225-647-2020.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end.
Welcome back to more sports talk with some other stuff mixed in. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Y'all money. Welcome back, OTB. Shohei Ohtani makes a lot of money, and he's probably worth it. I know we don't talk a lot of baseball here, but when something singular and otherworldly is done, if this is the only show you listen to, I don't want you to miss this. So Shohei Ohtani became the first ever player in the 50-50 club this weekend, 50 home runs to the steals in a season. But what was his final stat line from that game?
He went 6 for 6, hit 3 home runs, and 10 RBI.
Oh, my God. What? I did see the clip, too, where the opposing manager basically said, I guess they were having a discussion about, hey, are we going to walk him? And he said something along the lines of, like, I'm not walking this dude. I got too much effing respect for him. And then, sure enough, that's when Shohei hits his 3rd home run right after them. So credit the manager for not, taking the coward's way and trying not to let Shohei make history there. So he did that. When was that?
That was Thursday.
That was Thursday.
Yeah.
And then what did he do last night?
Last night, him and Mookie went back-to-back. He tied it up with a home run, and then Mookie walked it off. He went 4 for 5, 2 runs, 1 RBI, a home run. So his batting average is .301. And, I looked up his slugging percentage the other day. I don't know if it's probably not the same anymore, but it was .634 the other day, which is insane. But not as insane as the fact that the year before it was .649.
So y'all have stronger takes than I do because y'all were getting me some during the commercial break. What is better, Acuna's 40 home run, 70 steal season or Shohei's 50-50?
They're both very impressive, but I think Shohei.
I'm a Braves fan. It's definitely Acuna. But Shohei, 301, 53 home runs, 123 RBIs, 55 stolen bases. Right now, that is incredible. I mean, both, obviously, all jokes aside, are incredible. And it's the power and speed that we have in Major League Baseball. Now, it's not, doesn't happen often. It's only 2 times it's ever happened. But I'm saying to be able to hit 40 home runs, steal 70 bags, to be able to hit 50, steal 50 bags, and also have your average over 300.
Yeah.
That's another part of it. You're not just out there just, coming out of your cleats on every swing. I mean, you still are getting on base even if you're not hitting home runs.
You got to get on base, right?
Yeah.
To get the steal numbers?
123 RBIs. If he was pitching, he would have incredible stats there as well, which he might actually pitch in the postseason. So
and so that's what Taylor was talking about as well during the break is what before this he's never had more than 23 steals.
26 was his career high in a season, and then because you remember when he got hurt, everybody's like, oh, well, how much impact is he going to make? He doubled up his steal totals when he's only just a hitter.
Yeah.
So now it's like, do you want 75% Shohei at the plate with a pitcher, or do you want 100%, which is what you got, and then he's dominating? So, he found a way to make just as big of an impact without pitching.
Yeah. It's crazy you could be so athletic that it's like, okay, well, I can't do this. Now I'm just going to go steal 50 bags.
What?
Yeah.
And, puts up records pitching, too. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And he's the leadoff guy? And he's got 120 ribbies on the year. 10 as the leadoff man in a game. Absolutely insane, dude. Shout out Shohei. Hey, guys, remember, go to Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding if you need windows, doors, or siding. You go to GEAUXTommies.com. That's GEAUXTommies.com. Whether you need hardy plank or vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door, Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding has your back. Tommy's has nearly 30 years of experience. Worked for somebody else for 20 years, and about 7 years ago said, you know what, I there's things I do differently. And every year they've been in existence, they've won that Angie's Super Service Award. Because that's what everything is about, how they treat the customers, getting the job done correctly, and taking your home to the next level. Investing in your greatest asset, which is your home.
Oh, you know what?
So go to Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding today. GEAUXTommies.com.
Man, you're sitting there and you're talking, and somebody came up to me the other day that was a U-High family. They used Tommy's, and it just reminded me of something we both missed in weekend winners.
What?
And I can't believe.
Andy Dalton? Oh, U-High!
Listen to the end of that on the radio, dude. That game was electric.
Believe that we forgot. Until you did that Tommy's read, I wasn't thinking about it. And, yeah, there was a video out there that, was calling me and Gordy Rush, and Gordy's kids go to U-High as well. And, is it even a game? I will remind you, this is not something that hasn't happened before. In fact, it happened just last year.
How about the U?
That U-High was able to beat Catholic. But shout out to the U-High Cubs. They get down 14-0 in the first quarter, and it looks like the game's not going to go their way. Bang! They fight back. They take a 21-14 lead. Then Catholic scores, makes it 21-all. U-High scores in overtime, gets their extra point blocked, so it's 27-21, but they come up with an interception to seal the victory, 27-21. And
what a game!
Yeah, then they celebrated it the right way, even regardless of what the broadcast tells you. But yeah, U-High gets it done, 27-21.
Broadcast mad about how you celebrated a 27-21 OT victory. What do you mean?
Called the players certain things, and as far as just that their team would never. It really fired me up. I'm getting fired up talking about it right now. But
call the players what?
Just that it was poor sportsmanship that
How did
High's
they
players went over to
celebrate?
the Catholic student section.
Said that he was embarrassed for U High and that it was an atrocity.
Ooh, beta energy. That's awful.
Yep.
Boo.
Awful.
Yeah.
That
You
is
just
awful.
won a massive game in OT with a pick to seal it? Like,
Well, I mean, the student section's been whispering
Let
sweet
the
nothings
kids
for you
play.
for the whole game, right?
Yeah.
it's football, dude.
Yeah, let the
Craziest
Drop your
part-
nuts on them.
Yeah.
Craziest part, last
Because they're
year's
going to drop
U
your
High.
nuts on you.
Right.
Last year's U High Catholic ending was actually crazier than this year's.
It was. Yeah, last year was
Last year's was
even
incredible.
crazier.
Shout out to the St. George
Go
third
Cavs!
grade girls basketball team because they got the win over St. Thomas More 8-6 yesterday.
8-6.
It was a real
High
barn-
scoring game.
Real
Hell
barn
yeah,
burner.
dude. Go Dragons. You said
All
St.
right.
George?
St. George, yeah. Shout
Go
out Lydia.
Dragons.
My girl Lydia was putting up the
8 to
steals.
6?
Yeah, 8
All
to
right.
6.
All
She
right.
had like
Score.
5 steals that game.
You're like a Caitlin Clark. You dropped 4. Like,
Scored 50%
got
of my team.
50% of the
like
team
carrying
scoring,
this team.
dude. Yeah, dude.
Carrying this team.
It
Put
really
the team
was
on
like
the back,
two
drop
girls.
4, dude. Let's go. They played 2-minute quarters.
Yeah, it's literally like 5
No,
minute
I know,
quarter, yeah.
I know. Shout out St. George Dragons. Dragon, these nuts across Catholic High.
Go.
Let's go. I got a first grader at U High, guys. I can say that. Okay,
Fine.
I can celebrate
Well,
this win.
look, we didn't start talking about the game. There was talk about the game. It wasn't us. We allowed it to play out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about our business? And all jokes aside, like, I mean, come on, man. You're gonna celebrate a victory. It's a rivalry. Like, all those kids know each other. Like, you just gotta be careful.
Everybody has bad
what you
takes.
say.
That's a certified bad take. You
Just
know,
gotta
it
be
happens to
careful.
all of us.
Terrible take.
All right, when we get back, Tay-Tay's NFL Star of the Day. Caitlin Clark with a double single. When we get back, Tay-Tay's NFL Star of the Day. Keep it locked here about 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. Gordon McCurdy Injury Attorneys there for you, going to fight for you when you need somebody who's willing to fight for you and get you what you deserve. Stand up to the big insurance companies. Don't let them push you around. Go to getgordon.com. You can fill out a free consult right there. See the variable cases that they cover. See satisfied, real results from past customers. You can also learn about Gordon's community involvement through a lot of the Gordon Gives initiatives. Or to do all this, you can also follow him on social media at GetGordon. See a lot of content with your favorite athletes, too, as well. Gordon continues to be a leader in the NIL space. The G Team. Get Gordon, get it done.
Go to the website today to see what they can do for you in the courtroom, past client results, all that information. You ask a question, get a consultation set up. But they are doing something in the community consistently, so check that out. At Get Gordon is always going to be the handle there. The phone number is your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Just like we all knew would happen, the Panthers only winners in the NFC South on Sunday. Unreal stuff there. Tay-Tay, give us an NFL story of the day.
It's time for Tay-Tay's NFL story of the day. Your daily dose of NFL news from Taylor Sharp.
So we got a little twofer for you today, but first off, the Vikings might be in a little bit more quarterback trouble. Sam Darnold's undergoing an MRI on his knee today to see if there's any damage. He actually hurt it in Sunday's game. He only left for one play. Ironically, Danielle Hunter, former Viking, was the one that sacked him on that play. He said he should be good to go, but they don't know if he's going to miss any time yet. He's supposed to have an MRI later today to determine the severity of it. But the real thing I wanted to play was, far too often we see NFL coaches after a loss, and, they just kind of dance around questions. They don't give you a ton. They just kind of like to be the straight and narrow by the book. That was not Antonio Pierce. The Raiders blew it. They had a lead in their home opener, and then they just missed a ton of tackles. They had a ton of penalties, and somebody asked him, your team didn't show up to play today, and this is what Antonio Pierce said.
The team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on.
Hang on, Taylor. You didn't tell me you were going to do this, so hold on.
Okay, then.
Okay.
So
listen to these bells go.
The team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
So Antonio Pierce less than pleased from his team, and again, this was a winnable game for him. It was they had an early lead, and you're like, okay, look, the Raiders are going to make something happen in front of their home crowd. Their home crowd actually started booing them. They were playing so bad, and Antonio Pierce went on to say, "I would have booed us too." He said, "I would have thrown stuff on the field. This is ridiculous. This is not the type of team I want to have." I know all of us in this room last year, we were big proponents of him getting the job because they should have hired Rich Bisaccia. They did not. They finally did the right thing and hired the interim, but he just does not look good for the Raiders.
Yeah, I still got a win last week against the Ravens. Look, they lost to the Chargers.
That's what I'm saying. It's such an up and down league.
Yeah.
You lose to the Chargers, not looking great. Then you come back and beat the Ravens in Baltimore, like what? But how are you supposed to know that the Red Rifle was cocked and ready?
I mean, you should have known, but I get it. Yeah, he caught another one slipping.
Bryce Young.
Optics are not good.
You just got lipsticked by the Rocket.
No.
No. Red Rifle, not Red Rocket.
Yeah, he's the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton.
God.
I mean, I do like that nickname.
And it's kind of unexpected when he emerges. Most time he's in hiding.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then that red rocket comes out, and I'll be damned if you don't feel him. I mean, you saw Pierce just now, dude. It's a bad feeling. It's not a bad feeling is go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction and have them build you an outdoor living area. Maybe an outdoor kitchen, maybe a pool. Maybe you want a pergola, bulkhead. You can keep this going. You want to put some turf in your backyard. I like the NFL
bells.
music. Yeah, give it to me. It's like you could be watching football in your backyard with your new badass outdoor kitchen thanks to Pinnacle Exterior Construction. PECbuilt.com. Go to the website and look at the gallery, guys. It's going to blow you away. And remember, since it's football season and since it's Louisiana, it's still hot as hell. If you want to be grilling, chilling in your backyard, maybe you already have like a little grill set up or something like that, look into some exterior drop-down shading. We're going to help cool your house off. It can help take away glare from the TVs inside, outside, can help cool you off while you're grilling. So you can quite literally be grilling and chilling, watching football, man. PECbuilt.com, PECbuilt.com. Freaking Panthers, dude. Best team in the NFC South. There you go. Who do the Bucks have next week?
Panthers only a game out of first.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, so now Philly will travel to...
Yeah, the Eagles next.
Yeah.
Carolina's got the Bengals next.
So Philly's continuing their NFC South tour as they will be on the road once again in Tampa. Okay, Carolina's got the Bengals. That feels like, look, I mean, Bucks Eagles, I kind of think the Bucks will win that at home. But Sunday for the Saints, you got to get it, dude. You got to get it. That game's in Atlanta, correct? Yeah. That's going to be tough. It ain't going to be nothing easy about that. You're probably not going to have Eric McCoy. I think you'll have Taysom Hill back. But you want to talk about early positioning for the lead in this very tough division, the opportunity to move to 3-1 while beating your most hated rival, send them down to 1-3. Massive, massive game for your New Orleans Saints come Sunday.
What if the Panthers just start winning games, though? Just saying, you know.
Again, the optics are not great for Bryce Young.
You should have seen Memphis watching the Panthers on my phone yesterday. Like, he couldn't believe they were going to win a game. Like, the most shocking thing of his little young 8-year-old life was the Panthers were winning.
Well, I mean, ever since, when you start, I feel like I don't remember anything. And even then, I don't really remember anything growing up, barely snippets. But, I'm sure he just started forming long-term memories. So, basically, all of his memories have just been them being awful.
Well, it's funny. Yesterday, he goes, like the Panthers weren't bad, in 2015, right? They had, a good year that year, right? And I was they had a good year that year.
Super Bowl.
When was he born?
16.
Not 2015.
Okay, so he wasn't even born when it happened.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, 2-4-16.
All right, coming up next, let's close out the show.
He doesn't know Jake Delhomme.
No.
I'll tell you that.
No. Get your questions in.
Kerry Collins.
Ask the bench. Coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to iticollege.edu. Guys, that is iticollege.edu. And if you want to help the show out, guys, when you get in touch with them, and remember, this is to change your life for the better. Okay, in just 2 years, you can go get a career. The campus right here in Baton Rouge. It's locally owned, been helping Louisianians for 50 years now. Invest returning the investment to the entire country, according to Georgetown University. But you want to help us out? 225-267-8003. That's your number, 267-8003. Set up a tour, start to explore, see what they can offer you. ITI Technical College, iticollege.edu.
And you still have some time before classes start, but make sure you go ahead and start that process now. You can go schedule a campus tour on the website. You can give admissions a call, 877-591-1070. You can go check them out online for all that information, iticollege.edu.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I cannot get over how funny all these NFC South memes are. Just Panthers fans memeing everybody else for losing on Sunday. And Andy Dalton being like the best football player of all time.
Wait, so did Cal beat FSU? I don't remember.
No.
Dang.
The algorithm failed.
Yeah.
Shout out FSU.
They had a chance. They had a chance.
Back against the wall. About to be completely infected with the woke mind virus.
Yeah.
And they somehow held it down.
Hate to see it.
I did. I loved the algorithm, but unfortunately it's probably like when you set so much up on creating Tallahassee and then you don't.
They played well, though. Like, I actually thought Florida State, it kind of set up for being like, oh, Cal's all cocky. They're going to get a wake-up call. Florida State's 0-3, but, like, the game was actually really close.
Yeah. Because, Cal's pretty good, and Florida State's not, well, I don't know.
They're not good.
Yeah. Ask the bench, do you have a favorite terrible sports hot take? Oh, I know I do. I just got to.
I hate the pitch clock.
Oh,
Okay.
God, yeah. Shut up. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's a bad take.
I know.
Yeah, that's a bad take.
I know.
That's a really good answer to
I'm
this
like
question,
the only
though.
one who hates it.
That's like a perfect answer to this question, actually.
Yeah.
Taylor, I know you have one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I just have so many.
Okay, I mean, one that...
Hall
one
of Fame
that-
take, Taylor.
One that I know that this show hates that I still maintain, though, I agree with the refs not having to, answer media questions or anything
Why?
like that.
It's so dumb.
I know, we don't have to have this conversation
so dumb.
again. We don't have
That
to have
is
it
so
again.
dumb. They
We don't
make
have to
so
have it
much
again.
money.
Don't have
They
to have it
screw up.
again.
they screw up, but they get to just go off into the low locker room and change. No microphones. So dumb.
Nookie, hashtag Ask the Bench. The average high of September 21st is 84 degrees. So aren't we overreacting to something that happens about every 7 years or so? Day game plus heat wave. Again, Nook, I mean, I don't even care what the numbers are, right? It's like I said, we know heat, and we all know that we know heat. It was different. It was absolutely different on Saturday. It was horrible.
I heard you like when I was driving in this morning. Shout out to the players though.
Yeah,
for
they
LSU.
did. They weren't sweating it.
No cramps either. Shout out drinkmyhigh.com.
Shout out drinkmyhigh.
Oh, that weekend loser Matt Flynn. He came on to our SiriusXM pregame tailgate show, and I hyped up my high because it was hotter than hell. He didn't bring any.
It's just bad business. Dude.
You're like,
he said, "I'm."
no worries.
He said, "I'm bad at product placement." I said, "You're the worst, actually."
No business instinct.
I mean, we're having him on our national radio show to pump my high
For free.
on the hottest day that I can remember, and he doesn't bring any product.
And you're probably like, don't worry, guys.
Oh, I was.
We're going to be
like,
hydrated
guys,
in a bit.
Flint, I know is going to bring some product.
Didn't.
No.
Ask the Bench. The Bucks had a video asking rookies to name items like a VHS, cassette tape, floppy disk, and most of the players got 0 answers right.
Wait.
I saw that.
There was one guy. I don't remember what number he is. Well, I'll have to go back and watch the video, look at the roster. He got like 3.
Yeah, but like nobody knew
One guy.
nobody knew
Yeah.
what a VHS was even, Jake.
I don't want to talk about it.
One guy called it a DVD.
Well, one guy didn't know the name of the VHS, but he said, "Hey, this is what you put into those VCRs."
Yeah.
It's like he knew the VCR, didn't know the VHS.
Still, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Ask the Bench. Who's everyone got in the Heisman Bowl tonight?
Bengals.
I mean, the Bengals have to win.
They have to win
The
this
Bengals
game.
have to win.
Where's the game at?
I'm not choosing them to win. I'm
No
saying
idea.
they have to win. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable picking NFL games, if I'm being honest.
No, it's. I mean,
That
it's
was
crapshoot
one of
for
the funniest
sure.
parts about being at Fred's was these 3 dudes talking to me.
God.
Like they were sincerely going to convince me that they know how. Now, one of them was very tongue-in-cheek and could see the absurd comedy of it. It was cracking me up. But like one guy's like, well,
That's
no, see,
Cincinnati.
here's the key, dude. You got to look at the odds on FanDuel. Blah, blah. The other guy's like, no, the key's like 2-player parlays on Sunday. Just 2-player props that you like. Parlay those together. And the other guy's like, you got to wait till 20 games after the MLB season starts. Then you got to watch every game. You got to live bet, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
That MLB one's actually not a bad.
He's like, I'm
strategy.
up. I'm up. I'm
There's
up.
a soccer science.
And I'm
I
like,
told
look,
y'all.
if you're that DJ, and I'm sure you actually are up. Yeah, he's like, I'm up like 2K on the year, which is true. But then I looked at the account, and he's technically up. But there's a lot of money in that account. It's like up 2K with like 200,000 in there.
Oh my gosh.
So you're not actually winning
Wow.
or losing anything.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there at 50%. Craziness.
The key is to fade yourself.
The key is
Fade your
you're not
emotions.
going to win. Like, unless you are a professional
Vegas.
gambler. Ask the Bench. What will be the excuse Monday when LSU allows 30 in the first half and still squeeze out another disappointing win?
No, we
Not
won.
going to. They're going to smash
I
USA.
don't even care.
Get out of here.
Just win.
Get
I don't
out
care
of
at
here.
this point.
Also, 34-17 isn't a squeaky win. Nookie, I love you. You're my dog. And we are not excusing everything, but you're hearing what you want to hear, and you're going too far the opposite direction. You're what I'm talking about, where like losing objectivity goes both ways, right? And right now, I think you've lost yourself a bit too far the other direction.
You know who I'm going to miss whenever he goes to the NFL a lot that we don't talk a lot about? And I'm not just talking about us, I'm talking about anybody. Mason Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Golly.
Brian Kelly
I had a
was
really
upset
good.
about
Yeah.
Brian Kelly was upset about that very fact. That we don't talk about him enough.
career receiving yards now.
I'm going to
as a
miss
tight
that
end.
guy. He
Yeah.
is so reliable.
Well, we'll make up for it. We'll talk about Mason Taylor more tomorrow because he was fantastic. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow for some more snaps.
Off the bench.
OTB.
Whoa.
I did that on Snaps the other day, too.
Be
I opened
where
up-
your feet are, sir.
I got Snaps. I opened up Thursday's Snaps saying, welcome back to Off the Bench.
You should see the mental gymnastics for me when I'm
Yeah.
supposed to say off campus and my brain only wants to say off the bench.
Yeah. It's tough to go to Trash Rangers. TrashRangers.com. TrashRangers.com. If you want to look, if you need any storm cleanup still, you need roll-off dumpsters. You need roll-off dumpsters anytime, okay? 15, 20, 30 yard, any size, anywhere in the city. Trash Rangers are your answer. TrashRangers.com. So easy to get in touch with them. Incredible reviews. They're reliable, they're efficient, they're local. They give a damn. TrashRangers.com.
When you go to the website, right there at the bottom, you can sign up for residential service. You can sign up for commercial service. You also can sign up for that roll-off dumpster. 3 different sizes to choose from. Go to the website today to find that information at TrashRangers.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people.